Bottom it out, Novo gratis bullish. Bottom it out, don't never rise is deadish.
Bearish target 1300.
Novo gratis bullish.
Bitcoin could be at 40,000.
Let us go to moon. Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing well.
Bitcoin,
Let's
please
go to moon. Stop going sideways now. Don't even say we going down to 1K, but Mr. Novogratz say we have bottom it out. Bottom it out.
Novo gratis bullish.
Bottom it out.
Don't never rise is deadish.
Bearish target 1300.
Novo gratis bullish.
Bitcoin could be at 40,000.
Let us go to moon.
That's right, folks.
Bitcoin, please go to moon.
Stop going sideways now.
Don't ever say we going down to 1K, but Mr. Novogratz say we have
Bottom it out. Bottom it out.
Novogratz is bullish. Bottom it out. Don't ever rise is deadish.
Bearish target 1300.
Novogratz is bullish.
Bitcoin could be at 40,000.
Let us go to moon.
Ah.
Bitcoin, please go to moon.
Stop going sideways now. Don't if I say we going down to 1K, but Mr. Novogratz say we have bottom it out. Nice to see you, Phil. Novogratz is bullish. Nice to see you now beneath it. If anybody that is enjoying themselves so far could hit the like button, I'd appreciate it. Let us go to moon. Right. Nice. Thank you so much for that song, 1000X. It will never, ever, ever, ever get old. Ever, ever, ever. So basically get used to it, guys, because we'll be hearing that song again and again and again. Hope you're all doing really well. Are you all doing well? Let me know how you're doing. Did you have the most entertaining, fantastic, wonderfully exciting weekend with the prices? Or not? I tell you what, I certainly enjoyed the price action over the weekend. I thought it was great. I'm so glad. It's so good. It's so good. So great. So flippin' fantastic when something happens with the price that makes it so all of the rest of technical analysis land just doesn't know what to do anymore. And this is peak time, of course, for the Rocky Outcrop channel. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. And as such, we are running a drop-in center. Drop-in center today. Welcome, DGens. Welcome, DGens. All DGens, welcome. Welcome to the drop-in center. If you want me to take a look at a coin, it is so easy, ladies and gents. It's so easy. All you do is tell me the pairing and the time frame that you want to be looked at. There's an example up there on the screen. I'll just read through the instructions with you. Just read through the instructions. They're really easy instructions. Really, really easy. So it's great. It's really handy that the instructions are so easy to follow. Here we have drop-in center. That's this today. Excellent stuff here. Excellent stuff. Right. Welcome, DGens. That's all of y'all and myself. Hey, hey, chin, chin. It's tea time with Rocky. No tea, that's fine. Have coffee. I've got my cup of tea here. Have you, my DGen friends? Now, what you do is, it's dead simple. You ask me to take a look at a coin. You put in the ticker. So, for example, if you wanted to take a look at Ethereum, you could just say, Ethereum, please. In which case, I will default to USD and the 4-hour. However, if you want a specific pairing and a specific time frame, then be sure to put that in there. Otherwise, I will, of course, just be going with the default options. Cooly schmooly. Everybody feeling good about the instructions. Hope that they're pretty simple. Can't think of making them any more simple than that. That's right. That's it. That's all you have to do. And I'll take a look at your coin for you. And let's start off here with the Bitcoin pair, shall we? Just jump up towards a higher time frame so I can sneak my instructions off the screen for just now as we cover the chit chat for the Bitcoin pairing here. Okay, so couple of things. One, what you'll have noticed is that the whole world will have been saying, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, there was no way that could have happened, but it happened. Oh my goodness. Whereas over here in the channel, over here on the Rocky Outcrop Show, we explained this time after time after time after time, and it's happened. Okay, so where's the best chart to look at this on? Maybe it's this one just here, where I have these three tops connecting up all nice, these lower ends connecting up all nice, and then the potential for a move down the way. But let's just go back to this one that was on a second ago and just do this real quick. Is this a measuring stick up here? It looks like it. Let me just take this measuring stick and measure the measured move here on this particular triangle, even though it's not necessarily exactly correct. And we can see that the measuring stick takes us all the way down to there, and that we know from looking at the from the textbook chats and all that stuff. Right, cool, nice one, Craig. Good to see that somebody has followed the instructions to the letter there. Nice one, very good. Thank you so much. Let's do that in just a second. Anyway, we all know that I talk about these things and say 60% is where you're looking for in terms of what the textbooks say with these things. Let me just draw this out for you and show you that the 618 shows us the 60% of this move here. That's where it came down to. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness gracious me. Oh my goodness gracious me. And there's a couple of other interesting things about this, but as you can see here, that's precisely where this took us to. Now, why do we trade like that? Why do we follow the textbook when so often we see the prices go to the full measured move? Why do we talk about the textbook all the time? Well, it's right here, ladies and gentlemen, for your very eyes. And then there's an interesting dynamic with the Bitcoin pricing right now as a result of that. You'll remember we talked about fake out territory on a move outside of this wedge, bringing us down towards the 54,500 price point yet again, where we have this red line in here. That's actually positioned at 55,000. But, you know, if you've watched the show at all over the last month, then you know these numbers already. And as we can see, the prices actually retraced back up and have ended up within that fake out territory. And that's where we are right now. There's a question mark then. Have we satisfied the full need for this retrace outside of this wedge or not? Couple of things then that I'd like to point out to you that we've talked about in the recent past. Not that long ago, we talked about, for example, this is a linear chart, by the way. For example, ladies and gentlemen, we talked about the parabolic nature of this move up the way, and I explained parabolic curves. And as you can see, we've broken past this parabolic curve here at the minute. Dum, dum, dum. Now, this could be a question of having to readjust the curve because, as it happens, this is probably one of the most subjective ways of doing technical analysis in the world and therefore open to the maximum amount of interpretation. However, with this curve here, you can see that we've moved past it. Peter Brandt, for instance, would be calling right now for an 80% retrace, perhaps. You know, I'll have to see what Peter Brandt himself is saying, what the old codger's getting up to these days, and see what he's thinking about that potential. So that's something to be looking out for. Now, does that mean that I'm extremely bearish? Is that what that means? Is that what that means? Well, I just want to point out this to you as well, since we're all about the infos, ladies and gents. We're all about the infos. Shut up, siren. Shut up. Shut up. Goddamn siren outside. Who do they think they are? Eh? Who do they think they are? So back here in 2017, when we saw the big old rise up in the prices, you'll remember this as being called thereafter the bull run, the big bull run. And what we can see is that we've talked about this a billion times. Now you'll have seen numerous YouTubers talking about this a billions of times as well. What we can see here is from the high. Oh, look at that, Mario! Check it out. Tradus AI, trading cryptocurrency platform, Verified AI, pretty cool platform you should check out. Mario, let me know, are you actually from them? Because I've had quite a few emails recently from folk looking to sponsor the channel. That's right, I might actually have a sponsor of the channel fairly soon, which would be cool to have. And it's an AI company that I'm talking to at the minute about getting sponsorship for the channel. Congratulations to all of us. Well, there you go, there's your wee advert. Well done, Mario Perea. It only cost you €5 and you're getting to tell everybody to check out this pretty cool platform that you're talking about there. So there you go, nice one, cheap advertising for you, buddy. Hope you're happy. Right, cool, nice one. So what I was trying to say here is that during this big old rise up, we saw numerous instances where the prices dropped down big old chunks. And the question is at the minute, is this like one of these ones where we see where it dropped down like 20%, or is it one of these ones where it dropped down 30-ish% in total? Now I'm struggling to see the 30% type aspect here, which is odd because I'm pretty sure I've seen 30% tons of times when looking back at this, and it's all coming in smaller. Whatever, that doesn't matter. The question is at the minute, it's 30% retraces in Bitcoin during bull runs are typical, right? And what we've had so far is 20%. I'll just measure this out for you so you can see here, although my measuring skills may leave something to be desired. We dropped down 22%, came back up the way. Oh, is it done or is it not done? Well, in the previous retraces, which I'm not going to go into great detail on right now, what we saw is that the prices came back up to towards, you know, these sorts of areas like the Fibonacci retracement area of the 50%, for example. But they really need to make it past. They really need to make it past the 618. If we take it right from the point of departure, if you like, from when we broke out of the wedge formation down the way, then you can see that we have made it to the 618 and been rejected yet again, which is kind of bad. So what we need to see first off is breaking past the 56,700 area, take out this previous high, this wick on up the way, then it's good. Otherwise, what we could experience is a 20% drop down from that wick down to 20% down from there, coming in for a grand total of 30% off the tops, bringing us down towards 46,000 overall. That's what could happen, and there would be tiers aplenty if we were to go down for that closer to 30% move overall, which is, you know, which can happen, right? What would that look like market structure wise? Well, it would be the full measured move off the back of that wedge, and the last significant support really is down here at this low, which is great now that we've actually been able to properly identify all that extra stuff out there so that we don't need any of this noise on the chart from all of our previous examinations. So we don't need it. We could keep it. We can keep that on there. And I can show you that this is really the market structure area to be looking at in terms of the overall upward trend. Of course, we don't want to see the prices go in there, but that's it. And as such, then we know that we've come down to past the 236, which was our breakout point as well. And we can see that they've moved down the way, took us all to 618, confirming over time and time again, confirming for us that this is, of course, the Fibonacci to be looking to, which means 59,000, 60,000 is the point at which this becomes invalidated. And of course, we're resuming the upward trend, taking back out that parallel parabolic curve, taking back out the wedge, etc. That's what nobody else knows at the minute, right? That's what nobody else knows, but it's plain as day obvious as anything to me. It's incredibly obvious. So there we go. That's why we're running this drop-in center, to bring what nobody seems to know to be to convert it from being esoteric knowledge into absolutely plain as day for everybody. Fantastic. I feel like at this point it's maybe a good opportunity for me to run the intros. So what I'll do is then jump on over to Craig's suggestion. And what we'll be doing in this show today, by the way, ladies and focalmen, is that we will be looking at things briefly, okay? Briefly. Now, what we want to do overall is to be able to come up with a couple of quick sort of synopses of the technical analysis for everybody, so that they can get a better idea about where the markets are right now without having to watch through 20 minutes of stuff. as a result of that, I'll be able to do twice as many of these coins as we do in a usual live show. So that's what so just so everybody knows, we'll be doing things really, really, really briefly. Interesting things to be pointing out are that, you know, this speculative move that we had here at one point, I can't remember now if this was us talking about the move from 122 up to that high and we got it perfectly, or if this was drawn in later and we were talking about trying to find a bounce at around about the 236 or so. We can see the prices went on way further than that, if that was, of course, what you were considering at the time, and then subsequently we've moved back above the 236. So this move, if anybody did take it with the re-breaking of the 236, the invalidation of that Fibonacci, etc., and the overall presumption that the prior trend would, of course, then therefore resume, is absolutely still on. Is this the best entry that you could have possibly have got? Absolutely not. And do we want it on the on the charts there as we do the TA on this one? Probably not, okay? Probably not. But I'm going to need to keep this nice and brief for everybody, right? Nice and brief for everybody as much as possible as well. So what ways can we achieve that? And this is kind of the preamble. This is one of the things, the benefits, I guess, of tuning into the live show. By the way, thank you so much for tuning into this live show. And if you hit that like button, it really does. It really, really does help, you know, because YouTube can maybe then think, oh, maybe more people would benefit from this. And I think people would, okay? I genuinely think people would. I'm not really in this for the monies and for everything else. I'm in this actually to help people, which is maybe really bizarre. You might not be used to seeing that from a YouTuber who actually just wants to help people, but that's where we are. Of course, donations are absolutely appreciated from people, by the way, just so you know. Good one, Mario Priya, giving me a thumbs up after the chit chat about his wee advert there. No, you know, there's other people out there in the world that be, oh, that's bad form, etc. For example, Mitch Ray, who banned me from his channel because I dropped him a donation just to congratulate him for having 3 years of being live streaming. I on his 3rd year anniversary, I dropped him a donation and said thanks. He himself, nice guy, he's actually appreciated it for what it was, but his moderators, not nice guys, banned me instantly from doing that. So there you go, Mario. It's quite nice that I didn't ban you in a sense, but of course, you know, I wouldn't be crazy to ban people for just coming in trying to advertise. You know, what's the big deal? Right, so what will we do to make this quick and easy? Now, there's a couple of different things we could do. What school of thought would you like to use? Perhaps you would like to use the Crown's Cave trading idea, right? Perhaps you'd like to use that, where we essentially just use a couple of moving averages, right? I'm not, if I summarize what somebody else does, I'm not being disparaging in any way. I've got a massive amount of respect for Eric Crown. He's probably my favorite other YouTuber than Trade Spotting out there for everybody. But what could we do? Shall we use the moving averages? In which case, what you say is, looking weak at the minute. The prices have been very thoroughly tested, the 50 simple moving average here, and it looks to me as if the prices could test down a little bit even lower at the minute. That downward sloping 21 EMA up above us at the minute, giving us that bit of resistance. Perhaps we need to see the prices drop down as low as 91 cents, right? Do we want to do that? That's what Crown would say. We say we could see the prices going down to around about 90 cents or so. Maybe we'll see a bounce at $1. I'd actually expect to see a bounce at $1, but it really depends on how things go over that period of time, over that couple of days, if prices do drop down there. At the minute, if we see prices managing to take out 122, the next stop's going to be 130, giving you a nice move up the way. Break 130, we're heading to 160, drop down past stay below 120, and of course we're looking down to that $1 area. That's Eric Crown's TA for you. Nice and easy to do, and I have massive respect for the guy, and that's exactly how you would do it. Of course, it takes a little bit of knowledge to be able to do that sort of thing. It's not as easy if you know how, if you will. Other things then he would supplement it with, he would say, got a nice tick round on this stochastics just now, looking for a bounce in it around about this area. Hopefully this comes in then as a higher low for people, benefit from a bit of hidden bullish divergence, take us up to that 130 target and push on. At the minute, if we don't see that happening, then of course, you know, it's too early days to say yet. It could turn around, but the current sort of momentum in the market could easily take it down to $1 again, etc., etc. And then you'd be looking at this and saying, yeah, okay, so like it's negative at the minute, but it's diminishing. Now, what I'd actually like to say instead of all of that is that there's probably quite a lot of different ways to do this, but that's one way of doing this TA, right? It's one way of doing it. I don't know how useful that is to anybody. It does tell you, well, I do actually know it's very useful. It tells you the upper side targets, your downside targets, where if prices go to certain areas, it would push on past, and it also uses it off the basis of the sloping moving average there to come up with it. Now, but maybe that's not what people want for today's show. So if you do want a particular indicator to be used, then you can chuck that into your request, I suppose, and I've got a whole bunch of them and access to more, of course, and we can probably know probably know how to use the thing that you're talking about, probably. But we could look at it with the at a glance indicator right here, the Ichimoku cloud, the at a glance indicator. And what does it say? It says all the exact same stuff for us. Up here above, you know, our target at the minute 130. If we do come up, expect to find some resistance. Need to maintain prices above that 121 area. You know, crucially 125 if you're talking about this over the period of the next 12 hours, etc., and so forth, right? Okay, so that's what we're looking at. We'd be looking at with the Ichimoku cloud. Yes, you know, we've just had a negative cross here, but the negative cross is happening while the price action was itself above the cloud, looking for us to see if we can continue to, you know, get a bounce here at some point, come back up and retest this and try and get like a proper cross, you know, like this over here where we had a cross above the cloud and got that nice movement up the way, or indeed looking back, you'd have to look quite far back to find a cross that happened below the cloud. So that's kind of the same sort of emphasis. I don't know what people would necessarily want, but that's something that that we could do, right? Okay, so I kind of introduced everything for the show today. Everybody kind of knows how we will do things, right? We can have a look at how we'll do things, and then yeah, cool, man. Right, Phil, next Phil's suggestion will be next. So we have a list of things that will be happening here. So up next, for everybody who wants to know, I could maybe make a list. I don't know if this is useful to anybody. If we're to like make a list on screen of like what the next coins could be that we do. But I can start off. I could say like ADA. What was ADA USDT on 24-hour is what we're going to do first. Then we're going to jump a look over to Doge, I always spell it wrong, Doge USDT on the 4-hour. That's next, right? So you can see it's forming up already, ladies and gentlemen. Where's that at? There's our kind of up next list, right? Let's just leave it down there, whatever. People who tune in later won't know what the heck that is doing down there at the bottom of the screen, but there you go. Right, sound, nice one. So here we have it. One last thing, I suppose, before we properly dive into this properly, is that I need to get this off my head. And long-time subscribers to the show know what it's like. For me, I get songs stuck in my head, and the only way that I can do it's like The Ring. Have you seen that horror movie? I need to stick it all onto you guys so I can stop thinking about it. Honestly, I really need to get it off my head. So I've got this Galway Girls song in my head. It's because I was walking down the street and I saw a girl who had dark eyes and blue hair. Okay, dark eyes, blue hair, and my father, who is a gentleman and a scholar, and I love the guy very much, is also a singer, a folk singer. And we'd go to sessions at the pub, for example. In the past, we've done that a bunch of times, and people would often sing this song, Galway Girl. Now, you might have heard it from that ginger twat, whatever you call him. You might have heard him singing it, or something like that. Anyway, I was walking down the street and then I saw her with her dark eyes and her blue hair, and it reminded me of the parody version of this song that my dad used to sing. Now, you'll all know this one. Well, I took a stroll on the old long walk of a day. I met a little girl and we stopped to talk on a grand soft day. And I asked you, friend, what's a fella to do? Cause her eyes were blue, because her eyes were black and her hair was blue, you know? And I knew right then I'd taken the whirl down the street to do a live Bitcoin technical analysis episode. Right, cool, nice one. Satisfied that itch. Thanks very much for your patience. Cool. Okay. Right, sound excellent. So let's make this. I'll make this into a clip, of course, as well, because this is, this is how we do things here. And I'll make myself big as well for this one, and I'll introduce it and then go. Wait, introduce it. Maybe I wanted to introduce it with my with this one. Do I want to introduce it like this? I don't know. My background's a bit messy today. I'll go with this introduction over here. Right, cool, excellent. I really ought to empty that jar out because, of course, I got no tips or whatever apart from Mario's ad. Hello friends, this is Quickfire Cardano Technical Analysis. Looking at this because it was suggested during a live stream. Be sure to join me for a live stream one day. Thanks for joining me. We'll be done in just a minute. Drop-in center time stuff. Fuck it, that's all weird. It sounds weird speaking like that. I'm gonna have to start this one again. Hi friends, Cardano USDT technical analysis coming up right now. Quick fire stuff, get you sorted in as fast a time as possible. Thanks so much for joining me. This is filmed during a live stream. Be sure to join me for a live show one time so you can get your chat into there. My name's Rocky Outcrop. Hitting the like button makes a huge difference to the channel, so I would appreciate if you do that. And of course, subscribe if you're looking for more crypto technical analysis, FOMO free, greed free, all that good stuff. Join me for a live stream and all that one day. Here we are in the charts, and what we have up here is, of course, the Cardano 24-hour chart, which is what I was requested to take a look at. A couple of concerning points on here. Of course, the negative cross on the DMI as a result of that recent downward thrust in the price action. Are we massively convinced by that? Well, no, not really, given it's got this downward slope in ADX, crossing back under the 40 line at this point without the DM negative having managed to make it above 30. Now, if those things change, then I would get more negative on it. At the minute, I'm looking for this to have a bounce. It's more a case of where does this bounce from, and will it bounce from where we are now or bounce higher up? There's an interesting dynamic that we could potentially have on the go with regards to hidden bullish divergence with this low over here compared to previous lows. Looking at the last low here in the MACD compared to that one, same thing across the other oscillators down below. This little cross that we're seeing on the stochastics here, that's the DMI, the stochastics here. Come on, right. Come on, this little cross here, which hasn't happened yet, could be the good bit. But that's it. You know, we're right on the diving board looking at it saying, are we ready to go or not? Overall, I feel quite positive about the markets in general, but of course that's with in full knowledge that if we see things tick just a little bit lower, then of course they could get negative. Dragging the screen up a wee bit so you can see a bit more. Suppose the Ichimoku cloud really does mess up the candles, doesn't it? But what we're looking at here is, can we see the prices sustain themselves above $1? If they don't sustain themselves above $1, then the bounce there, or my Alamo, if you like, the kind of cutoff point in terms of being happy about things, is going to be maybe down at about 91 cents or so. We worked that out just before starting the stream, and yeah, that's what I'm looking to. Okay, we haven't got a negative cross overall with regards to the Ichimoku cloud below the cloud itself. What I want to see is the prices manage to make themselves wick back up above the cloud. 125 for sustaining prices above, super important. I'm tolerating 121 in terms of like resuming the bullishness once we get above there, but actually I'm looking for the prices to move up into this area, take out 130, get a positive cross. The next target then afterwards is going to be 156 again thereafter. Failure to do so, taking out these bodies and this wick over here especially, you know, leading down towards $1 and then 91 cents. If you're looking for why that 91 cents is a reason, then we can see here, if I just bring on the EMAs yet again, that this is where the 200 simple resides at. If we see prices failure to take out the 50 simple, the red dotted line, it's very hard to see in there, I appreciate that, and indeed the 21, which is currently sloping down the way, then if we take out those things, good, positive, that's all of those numbers I was talking about. Summary then, take out 130, we're going to 156, take out 121, we're going to 130, failure to stay above 121, very, very much not good in the medium term basis. At the minute, if you had to push me for an answer, yeah, we could actually be looking down towards $1. That's your risk zones that you're looking at if you're trading this and waiting for something to happen, then waiting for crossing over those areas and then managing your risk with the idea that if it crosses back again might be your safest strategy. Thanks for tuning in here for this one. Likes and subscribes appreciated. Like I say, I'll see you in the next one. Right, great. So just tuning back in with everybody. Hi, Mimty. Hi, Jacko. Hi, Etienne. Oh, bonjour, Etienne. Good to see you again, mon ami. And yeah, that's cool. Hey, everyone. So cool. I'm lucky to catch 2 live in a row. That's awesome. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you, Etienne. Right, great. So we had already agreed. What did we say here? Dodge USDT 24-hour. Remember, folks, this is the drop-in center. Get your requests in pretty quick, and we'll try and do them and fly through the TA. Hopefully, we pick up the pace as we go along, and I kind of shake off any rustiness that I might have inside me at the minute with regards to the price action. Now, here we have the Doge USDT. By the way, nobody suggested anything yet since as well, so I'm going to add one on here for myself. Let's just stick on Theta, and we'll do it against versus USDT, and we'll do it on the on the 4 hour as well. Shall we do it on the 4 hour? The 24. We'll go on the 24 hour for Theta USDT as well. Like, that'll be next. Okay, so this is like our list of shit that we're doing up there. And I'll jump back over to the big screen again. Doge technical analysis. Let's drop a stream marker and we'll run through the same thing again. Okay, couple of key points I suppose to be pointed out here. Wait a minute, did I just do the Cardano technical analysis in 12 hour the whole time? Sorry about that. Sorry about that, buddy. It's the same. It's the same. Right. 24 hour time frame. Wait, no, he asked for 4. Sorry. Cheers. Right, Phil asked for 4. Yeah, much more to see on the 4 hour time frame over here. A couple of things to point out though. Of course, massive move towards the top side. Overall parabolic move with a big drop down, of course, but then recovery. And you're seeing that what we've done in a couple of things is we haven't actually taken out this lower line over here. Now, I appreciate, by the way, that the Ichimoku cloud is positioned often to the future, and this is for how you would use this in the future. But I just want to point out that fact is that we didn't take out this lower line over here and just drop in a wee education bomb, as I so often love to do, and pop on the Donchin channels and show that as a result of not taking out this line here, we didn't take out the baseline, the middle line of the Donchin channels, okay? Which is cool, right? This is cool. That's a really good thing to have seen in terms of the drop down. We didn't take out that middle. Did I get that analysis right there? Just can't actually see the middle line of this thing very clearly. Let me just make it so I can see it much more clearly. Make it white. Yeah, because it's lining up with that baseline, of course, so it's just making it look a bit pinkier. Yeah, so we didn't actually take that out. We just, wicked below it a couple of times and we stayed above the 21 EMA, which is visible with Ichimoku Cloud. That's why they call it an at-a-glance indicator, because you get to see these things, but it's very hard to understand what you're looking at until such times as you understand what you're looking at. Right, cool. So big drop down potential, obviously, but not really. Positive. What we're looking here is, of course, previous resistance, flip support, 29. If we need it, now we're so far away. Where's the price of this thing at? 36 at the minute. We're at 37. So we're so far away from that. So is it possible that we just keep going up the way? That's a question. And we have, of course, this positive cross happening on back in the day. Now, so of course, I'm bullish on this one. Couple of key points then of note to be pointed out to us is that this is extremely, obviously overtly bearishly divergent, but that's just a potential as yet. Are you ready to call this potential, this bearish divergence in here? Are you ready for it? Are you ready to call it that? I'm not personally, because this for me doesn't satisfy an actual confirmation of a local high just yet. We've pulled back a wee bit, but we haven't even taken out our previous candle. We've not even had that movement happen as yet on this 4 hour time frame. So brilliant. That's us up to speed with what we're going to be talking about. Let's just do it. In the next ones, I'll try and not give. All right. Okay. So we've done Cardano, big 10-minute long chat, then the TA. Doge here, few minutes of chit chat, then the TA. Next coins that we do, we're just going to skip most of the chit chat. The next coin we do is going to be Theta USDT. By the way, remember, get your suggestions in. If everybody can watch the chat as well and read the chat and tell me if I miss a suggestion, then great, right? That'll be handy. Of course, I'll not miss a suggestion if somebody puts in with a super chat or something like that. I'll see them coming up, okay? And that's going to be cool. So stream marker, here we have it. That'll make it easier later. And the Bitcoin girl, and her eyes were black and her hair was blue. What's a fella to do? Right. Okay, cool. Let's do this. Hi, friends. Doge, wow, outperforming the entire market. Extremely bullish price action. Fantastic. Cracking up past previous resistance and creating it as support. Everything that you want to see, or is it? Bum, bum, bum. Well, there could be a potential little pullback here for us with regards to Dogecoin, but overall, I'm bullish. Let's run the intro clips, and it gives me a second to say to you folks, if you hit the like button, it makes this life as a YouTuber so much better and more satisfying. I really do appreciate it. Please, if you like what you see, hit the like button, and then join me for a live stream. As you can see here, this is filmed during a live stream, so come and join me for one of them sometime. Okay, so here we have it back in the charts, right? What are we looking at with regards to Dogecoin? Couple of things. This high up here, very, very nice. Pushed up the way in the face of an overall negative market. Yes, we did see a pullback, like everything else kind of did, but this, wow, outperforming everything in the hours afterwards. Absolutely rocketing, fantastic. Or is it? Well, this high that came in, while it was very much higher than our previous high, it was 37 and 40 is higher, it wasn't enough higher compared to the lows that we've had for us to be able to say that we did it with momentum. Okay, we had the momentum coming up to here. Our previous momentum brought us up to the overall highs. Have we got the momentum to carry on through right now? Well, we potentially do, very much do, but we need to see the prices maintain a couple of key areas. This mess that's in the background is a couple of things. The Ichimoku cloud here, although on this chart it's not so supremely obvious that that's the Ichimoku cloud. I'll just drop down a few seconds so you can see more cloudiness. There you go. So there's your Ichimoku cloud. And so we've got the Ichimoku cloud over there, and we can see that there's this green line here, right? And that's one of the areas that we want to stay above, and that's part of the Ichimoku cloud. But if we actually do drop down the way, we're looking down to 29, and that would be an absolutely satisfactory bullish higher low. Okay, that's what that would actually be. And if we see this turn down the way, then we'd be coming down towards the 21 EMA. Natural enough to do, and we tested it a couple of times during our most recent drop down. Why are you talking like that, Rocky? In the face of, a green 4-hour candle that just kind of started rocketing up in the last couple of minutes here, really, doing very, very good. Why would you be talking like that, Rocky? Well, it's like this. As I said already, 37 to 39, when you're looking down at 25 up to 40, sort of 30, 39, isn't actually fan-dabby-dozy. And the way that that's represented here is with this high on this peak here, and then a much lower high on this subsequent peak here. And as you can see, downward sloping ADX here. Well, we've got a couple of key things haven't happened up above the 50 zone, the 60 zone. In fact, right up here, generally speaking, you see pullbacks on assets when this occurs, unless it occurs again. And we're down below the 40 line and testing the 30 at the minute. So if we do drop below the 30, then that's where we'd be heading. Okay, so then that means that your best buy price at the minute is going to be in around about 30, managing risk with regards to where the cloud is. Looking down the way here, saying 25 is probably not worth carrying on your positions for until such times as we've resolved everything. We do know that we could come down and retest the 50 simple average, as prices are often want to do, by the way. But what we want to see here is either we get to push on up the way and then we get a pullback, because it's highly likely this remains bearishly divergent all the way up the way. And however, we don't have this confirmed yet. We haven't taken out key areas, and I'm going to be looking down here and saying, well, if we actually take out 33, all the threes, then this will probably be confirmed as bearish divergence. Then we'll probably go on down that subsequent next 10%. There's also then anybody's guess as to whether we go down a whole additional sort of big chunk down to 21 at that stage. However, I would be looking for a bounce overall, right? And that's the TA on this one. Yes, it's very, 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 very good. And we do actually have very, very bullish. I mean, like I say, where am I looking to then for the next highs? Up the way, and they'll be coming in. I reckon, Dodge could even see highs of 58 cents. Okay, that's cool. That could happen, but I've given you all the warnings that you need to know in the meantime. Likes and subscribes really do help. Like I say, really appreciate it. Right. Cool, nice one. Let me just see here. I've not missed out on any coin questions. For example, I mean, we do have somebody asking to look at Safe Galaxy, which to me feels like, I don't know, look, Oh World, are you still here, Oh World? If you're still here, Oh World, and you didn't just drop into a crypto-related live stream to advertise your coin, then ask again and I'll look at it. Otherwise, it's proof and pudding to everybody here watching that you're just a spammer, right? And not even a nice spammer like Mario up above, who gave me €5 for his spam. Cool. So I said already that I'll be going on to the next coin. The next coin now at this stage is Theta USDT. Don't have any requests from the crowd. I need to get one in here because, I've run out of requests now to look at. Safe Galaxy, obviously I'm not rushing to look at Safe Galaxy. It sounds like a straight out of the box shitcoin. And the new lower bracket of shitcoin, anything that says safe in there, I mean, come on. If you've got safe, moon, stuff like that in there, then it's well, I mean, the people running the coin are at least inspired by scammers themselves, whether or not they actually intend on scamming anybody. So cool. Bring up the Theta chart. What will we do Theta on? What did I say? I do Theta on the 24-hour. Theta is an interesting one at the minute, by the way, because of course I already scanned out all of the technical analysis that you needed to know on this one. Where's my lines? There's my lines there. Fantastic. So let me just get rid of these drawings that we had on. Now, if you watched the Theta video last week, I explained all of this in extreme detail. So out of all the clips that I make today, this one requires the least amount of explanation because I put in a 20-minute or 15-minute, something like that, really intense educational lesson on Theta, right? Did it, okay? Talked about certain things, talked about these lines, which were here since the prices were up in around the prices were up at this price here. They were $13, and then I put in all these lines. Now everybody watching the video at the time is like, that guy talking about lines down below, who needs them, eh? Obviously then I spoke about this one, made it green at the time because green, you know, means good, right? Red here means not so good, but green here means pretty good. Green here is also good. Yellow, be careful of. Green, I'd be taking profit at, but then if we push past that, very, very good. You can see there's a red line just in here behind. We've got that orange box, and the next target up the way is actually 17 on beyond all of that. That'd be really, really nice. Nearly 70% up from where we are at the minute. Right, cool. So we've done stuff. Yeah. It's cool, Swisher, man. I've not done Ethereum. Sorry, you're just missed out there because Dude Man asked for VET USDT. Now, Dude Man, the way that we're doing this is that if you ask for a coin, come on, let me edit this. If you ask for a coin and you don't specify a time frame, then the default's going to be 4 hour. So the next one we're doing is VET USD on the 4 hour, right? That's what's coming up next, folk. And then then after that, again, Swisher, you didn't ask for a pairing specifically or a time frame. So the next one after that's going to be Ethereum versus USDT on the 4 hour as well. Okay, so that's what we're getting on that one. By the way, if the 4 hour isn't everybody's favorite time frame to do technical analysis on, or at least up there, if you had like 2 or 3 different favorites and the 4 hour isn't one of them, seriously recommend reconsidering your favorite time frames. Not financial advice. Oh, I've got tea here and I forgot about it. God, it's probably cold. Tea time with Rocky. No tea that time. No tea, that's fine. Have coffee. Theta. If you American accent. Theta, mate. Theta. Oh no, he's gone mad, says the audience. Stream marker. Pop that in there. By the way, for people who wonder what I mean when I say stream marker, it's because I click this thing in the back end of YouTube and it lets me edit the video slightly easier. It's actually quite badly made, if I'm honest. Right. Hi friends, Theta technical analysis coming right at your faces. I hope you're all doing very well out there. The prices have been exciting in the recent past. Look at that analysis that we have up on the screen. It's actually historical analysis. We did this last week. You can check out a big explanation video filmed back when the prices were $13, which explains all of the reasons for why we could have come down to these zones. It explains it all in great detail for you. So if you want to know why, check out the previous Theta video on the channel. Really explains it thoroughly. But if you want to know where next, then you tuned into the right place. Just as I run these intro clips here, by the way, I just want you to know that if you hit the like button, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. I'll give you a few seconds here. Give me a few seconds. Go on, please hit it. I'm serious. Please, I'm serious. And then as well, join me for a live stream sometime so that you can come in here and chat in the chat and check out that as well. We're running through a whole list of different coins that people suggest, etc. in today's show because this is a crypto drop-in center. Thanks so much for joining me. Well, where are we with this one? Still actually going to remain positive on this, despite the fact we've had a massive drop down. Why am I remaining positive on it? Because we have got fairly easy risk management zones for us as well. The prices are above $10. We're actually looking up ultimately towards $17. That's right, from where we are up the way, we're looking at a 70% rise in the prices. Is that possible? Yes, it is. But first profit taking target might be coming in if we have flux on the go in around about this $11.27 area. But really, you know, again, like that's that's not what I'm looking at on this one. In fact, I'll just remove that line because it's maybe, you know, whatever. The where I'm looking up to next in terms of this is going to probably be in at around about $12 or 11.80. Actually, here for this one is the next one up the way. 1180 would be your next target. Okay, that's really lovely move up the way, by the way. Don't be perturbed by that low number, given that's a nearly 10% move up in prices, 9% move up in prices for us. So that's what I'd be looking for. Is that possible to happen? Well, you know, we're actually right in the doldrums at the minute. If we move on down the way, things are negative. We could be looking for some negative price action. And in fact, then I'd be looking down to where we had our previous wick coming in at. But it's not the wick there that's drawn my attention to that zone. First off, it was this previous inflection in this area making me think, oh, there must be support and resistance, etc., are worth looking at in this area. Cast my eye over to the right, see that this wick actually did come down and touch off of that one there, you know, bang on that. So that would actually still as well remain as your next overall target if you don't want to take profit at those areas, because you've identified already in the past that you're probably more statistically successful taking profit a little bit earlier. Then yeah, I'm not going to tell you that's a bad idea. What we're looking up to then as well is you know, what we're looking at is saying, well, this low here, is it really a low? And I know I said to do the technical analysis in the 4-hour time frame, but on the 24-hour time frame, you can see that we just had pure sideways. We didn't have highs and lows. Not really. This sideways, and we've got a low in here at this point overall. The bodies currently, you know, like the bodies here showing us that they could close down the way. That's today, right? Yeah, that's today. They could close down lower than this area over here. So what I really want to see is for today's price action to end up above $11.30, in which case then, you know, we can definitely just start to say that we're in line for some hidden bullish divergence and get a nice move up the way thereafter. But we're not there yet, and we're still a million miles away from that. Bear in mind though that the previous low is going to have to be one of these two overall, and that actually, you know, that we still have that potential for a nice bullish turnaround in prices if things go well. Then thereafter, of course, up towards that magnet. Key areas to be aware of are going to be $15. Key area to be aware of again afterwards, $12.88. On the 24-hour time frame, want to see this staying above the Ichimoku cloud. As you can see here, the cloud giving us that perfect representation of where we really want to see the prices moving over the period of the next wee whiles. The 4-hour time frame, not so clear on that front, because of course we're below the cloud, but we don't have like a negative cross here below the cloud having occurred. It happened up here above the cloud as we crashed on down the way. I'm looking overall at this and saying that I want to see it bounce up the way. I know that if we go up into this zone, this heady zone just here, that actually there'll be a drop off, and we could see prices getting volatility in amongst this area. Just be aware that the area between 1190 and 1373 are potential volatility zones until such times as we really get towards the end of April, or the sort of 2/3 of the way through April. So a couple of days away from now, we need to be aware that this could, of course, be a zone for us. But again, the resumption of the overall upward trend, is it possible? Yes, it's possible, and I would like to see that happening. If we can come up here and take out our previous high, we're taking out the 50 simple moving average as well, and the 21, etc. Lots of really positive things to happen, and it gives us a really good opportunity to push past at one of these points where we see the thinnest part of the cloud, and that's what I want to see happen. Overall, I suppose if you want to be sort of really insane about this is, you know, in terms of how you do TA, that's what I'm looking to see happen with this coin, although I'm aware that it could be that, and I'm aware that it could be that, or it could be that. Right, cool, nice one. See you in a live show sometime. Swisher, right? You do weekly, daily, 4-hour for my little trade swing. Yeah, man, that's good. I mean, I was saying the 4-hour thing, because I'm speaking to people who look at the 15-minute chart, and I'm saying that, by the way. I'm speaking to noobs mostly when I'm saying that, you know. Right, so we've done Theta. Wow, nice one. And now we're moving on to take a look at Ethereum USD2. Right, Ethereum USD2. It was. How are we doing here with Bitcoin, by the way? Whoops. Well, I mean, I have to say that this move that we were talking about in terms of the Ethereum Bitcoin parent, oh my god, how good. Oh my god, how good. Oh my God, how good! I mean, you got in here, and I'm not kidding when I'm saying that. I'm talking like 13%. Oh my God, how good, right? Especially considering that was just thrown out there for everybody who wanted to know about it. I talked about this. It's talked about the expecting that to go up the way. We've obviously not done the full move just yet. It could keep going, but this is that zone where, of course, plenty of reasons to be taking profit up in that region. If we see the prices managing to maintain themselves above this zone, they're doing a couple of things at once. 50 Simple, Ichimoku Cloud, etc. Lots of reasons to remain positive on this one in the meantime. Let's see, though, if Ethereum itself can double down on that for us. Cool. Douglas says, Rocky Kanaka, Emmy-nominated television host and pet rescue advocate, has already shown his support for Bingus token on Twitter, as well as Canadian rapper BBNOS. See, Douglas, right? I'm going to give you 1 minute here. Everybody watching, I'm going to give Douglas 1 minute. Douglas, you have to write in. Wait. Sorry, no, you've put in a post up above. I want you to make sure. I just wanted you to prove that you were actually a human being when you put that post in there. But hey, Rocky, take a look at the Bingus token. They are starting. It's a charity token, but they really donate, and they already have good partnerships. Possibly do that. I'm sorry, I just read that at first. I was like, that guy's got to be a spam bot talking like that. But you're not, probably. Going to come at this with a slightly bearish sound. Okay, this is going to sound bearish at the start of this, and justifiably rightly so. Okay, we've got really strong areas above us that would need to be acknowledged. Okay, that's the truth of it. And then I'm going to start talking bullish. Hi friends, Rocky Outcrop here with yet another technical analysis session for you. This one will be a nice, quick and easy look at Ethereum. I would love it if you join me for a live stream sometime. I'm actually filming this during a live stream. Check it out, everybody chatting down there below. Hiya Douglas, for example. And if you hit the like button, I really, really appreciate it. It helps the channel grow. It helps me feel good about what I'm doing over here. And if you want more crypto technical analysis, subscribe, come back again in the future. I'd love to have you. Black screen, good time to hit like, good time to hit like. Okay, have you hit the like? Have you hit the like? Let's get on. Okay, let's get on with the show. Right, so Ethereum, Ichimoku Cloud, making it difficult to see the screen at this second in time. Just going to hide the Ichimoku Cloud for a second. Ethereum, we did have the potential to push up the way, go much higher than we ultimately went, but how far did we go? Let's just sort of sanity check this and see if we managed to make it in at the 60% difference on this here, on this measured move. So if I just hide that Fibonacci for us, drag the measure and stick up, pop it up here. We didn't quite get the full 60%, but we got a lot of that measured move. Then we came back down. We didn't actually quite get a retest of this wedge either, in fact, and we broke on past it, kind of making me think that at this stage here, that line is not that necessary. But I do want to point out the fact that, we've seen inflection around here a lot of times, and this is really resistance up above us. We can't fully get back on board the old bullish case scenario until such times as we see the price of Ethereum back up above $2,225, right? But we can take that out for just now and take a look at a couple other things here in the meantime. Just this price structure that we're at the minute. We didn't take out that low over there. Of course, we wicked down. We touched the 200 simple. Lovely to get a retest of 200 simple along a bullish trajectory. That's obviously a very nice thing to do. Right now, we're coming back up to an area where we have, of course, previous support and resistance. Big deal areas for us. All of these along the way. We spent a significant amount of time overall in this period, in this regime. That was the word I was looking for in a stream the other day, by the way. In this regime previously, and there's the potential for us to look up. I am positive on this now at the minute, though, to be honest with you. I am quite positive on it, not least of which because while we remain above 2,094 bucks, we're above the 236 here, and we're looking up the way towards higher targets on here, just as I mess around with the undo button. And your first profit taking target coming in here in around about that 2,333 price point. That would be what we'd be looking to. Of course, right now, significant areas above us. I do expect to see a bounce if we pop up to 250 right away, taking out that $100 area. I expect a little bit of flux in around this zone just as we work past a couple of key areas and then push up the way. Let me just kind of show you a bit more and why I'm thinking along that lines. And you can see here the Ichimoku Cloud giving us that impression exactly, that we could come up, hit off of this baseline area and maybe turn around again. We could push up and take out the cloud. you know, all these sorts of things. But until such times as we really push past, you know, for example, 2333333 or 23375, then we're not really kind of kicking the bears' heads in. But I'm feeling positive on this one. Bearishness up above. If we see prices drop back down the way, then I am looking down towards that 1989 area again. And actually, to be honest, it's 1850, around about 1850 zone, 1870, maybe 1910. But I'm going to actually call it and say the Terror. If you've watched that TV show, The Terror, where they're all in a boat, you know, and it's frozen cold, and they're in the north looking for that passage. Where's that set? Well, it's set in there at 18 and on the year 1850. So I'm going to just call this zone the Terror. Okay, that's the Terror in right there. Okay, but beyond then, it's obviously, of course, looking very, very good and very much, very, very good. The recent pullback, healthy, good stuff. Nice one, excellent. Catch you in the next show. Right, so that's doing pretty good there, I think, overall, everybody. Good to see you, Seihan, buddy. Nice one. Slam the likes. More likes than viewers has got to be a good metric for this. Yeah, it has. Yeah, it has. So thanks so much for that. Dude, man, we've satisfied your request, have we? Let me just double check. Did we do it? No, we didn't. We skipped it. I was supposed to do vet. Sorry, buddy. Look at that. I messed up. I messed up. Supposed to do vet. Live scene main. I've done, so far in the show today, done Cardano. Did that first, then did Dodge, then did Theta, and then I did Ethereum, and then I'm going to do vet. Stop going sideways now. Right, so yeah, there we have it. That's the order so far. Get your requests in, by the way. I've got, 55 minutes into this show. I'm not staying on here for more than another hour. Good to have you, Douglas. Yeah, by the way, sorry. Thanks for dropping a like, by the way. Just so everybody, hello, human Douglas. Just so you know, if you've read the comments on my videos, you'll know that I get, and as do all crypto YouTubers, get an awful lot of the old bots coming along saying stuff, and all that sort of stuff. Andreas, good to have you here, buddy. Hey all, nice to see another live stream. Yeah, Andreas, good to have you for another live one. It's good to have you here. Right, cool. Everybody get your suggestions in. Ask for whatever coin you want to take a look at. I'll be doing sort of brief technical analysis on all of them. I've just covered Ethereum. I'm going to crack on the way. In fact, let's take a quick look at this here as well. I'll just do this whole chit chat. Stream marker, go to intro stack and go drop a thing here. So I've done the stream marker. Right, great. Let's do this. Hi, friends. Hi, Kirk. How you doing? Hi, Sulu and all that. And hi, everybody out there. What we're going to be talking about in this show right now is just a couple of key things you might want to keep an eye out for with regards to your charts. By the way, this is a live stream. Join me for a live stream. Over there, you can see a list of coins we've already gone through in today's live show. But I just wanted to point out real quick before I crack on any further that people might want to take a look at the total market cap and the Bitcoin dominance, etc. over the next wee while if you're worried about things, because I know that people worry. Okay, you all worry, don't you all? And we've seen it drop down all the way below the 2 trillion mark, down to 1.75 trillion. Of course, this historically is probably the biggest, or one of the biggest ever drops in terms of the overall crypto market value, knocking off 60 odd billion and from the total market cap recently. But you can see this is still trending towards the top side. Also, what you can see is that this downward sloping Bitcoin dominance chart still trending towards the downside. Now, if we actually do take out 53, 54, etc., maybe Bitcoin starts to pull away a wee bit. Maybe you need to look kind of closer at your moves and ask whether or not you should take in profit just before the full sort of move that you were looking for with regards to things like Ethereum, Bitcoin, etc., if you're trading against Bitcoin. But at the minute, looking pretty good for the continuation of movements up the way. If we do see the Ethereum price, for instance, dropping down past 1850, and we see the Bitcoin dominance chart, skyrocketing up the way, and the total market cap going sideways or whatever, then be careful. But as long as while we see the total market cap going up and we see the Bitcoin dominance going down, there's Bitcoin dominance going down, trends down, total market cap trending up. That's very good. That's what people mean when they've been talking about alt season. And then, of course, if you just take a look at coins versus Bitcoin today, not been a great day over the last wee while. We've seen this big pullback over the last day, but we've are even a wee bit longer in some instances. but we've also seen this huge rise up versus Bitcoin for most coins. So at the minute, what you're seeing looking across the board, across the market, is a couple of questions like, are we going to remain above the 50 simple moving average? Have we come down and tested the 200? Has there been a negative cross? Which way are they sloping? Things like that. They'll all give you tons of insights. But as you can see, overall, that the overall markets are doing fairly decent. There's a couple of warning signs coming in from some coins, but not necessarily from the massive big ones. You look at things like Link, and of course, it remains flying towards the top side overall with massive, massive volatility. Not a great time for trading with high leverage, but just something I want to throw out there into the crypto world. Cool. Hey, Rory, good to see you. Rory the Brower. I wonder if it's got a Bavarian the sound on your if you're Brower or whatever, but Brower. Good to have you here, buddy. Yeah, nice. Phil says like, subscribe, hit the bell. Yeah, do that. Totally hit the bell. Likes appreciated loads. Oh, hey, Susie. Nice to have you, Susan. Good to see you there as well. Thanks, Rocky. I'm hoping I'll be able to scoop some more before we break higher. Yeah, opportunities there to do that. Just better be careful. Rocky, no, Dutch. Oh, Dutch. Ah, right, cool. Nice one. How gezellig to have you here. There you go. There's my Dutch word for you. To everybody else watching, that means exciting. Right, cool. So what were we going to look at? VET. Yes, that's right. By the way, clock's ticking, folks. We have now got, coming up here in the next sort of 30 seconds, it will be ticking over to an hour into this stream, and therefore we have less than 1 hour if you want to get your suggestions in. Maybe be doing some maybe even stop after just half an hour more. I don't know, but get your suggestions in, because I'll not be here all day, and this is meant to be sort of quick fire so that as many people get satisfied as possible. We're about to take a look at VET. But Rory de Bauer is asking us here, tell us our underwater BTC longs are not going to hell. And just as, here we have the Bitcoin chart. We did see a big drop down. It came down to 618 right into this pocket here, which is, of course, a great zone to be targeting if you were short in it. This is a massively strong, long-running bullish uptrend. So taking shorts against the trend and then trying to move past the 618 is greedy. However, how we've now bounced back up the way and failed to take out the 236, and then if we drop down the way, then maybe we are looking down again. There's two main scores for us to be aware of here. There's this one in there at 57,900, so let's call it 58. Then there's this one all the way down here at 45,000 area, where the prices could go down to if we were to see a 30% drop off in the prices from the highs. From the high up there, going down 30% takes you down towards this area here. Now, of course, that's 45, so that's very tough titty timing. But if we do actually move past the 236 in there at 58, then I think that we can resume looking up towards perhaps our previous targets in there about the 70,000 area, or 69,420 if you're looking for meme type chat about things. 65k being a very obvious area for the likes of people who aren't greedy to take profit at. However, so what I'm really saying here is that so far we've seen a pullback in the price action, and that 30% price moves down the way during extremely bullish markets are actually sustainable in this crazy world of crypto Bitcoin technical analysis. Looking over to the left and seeing where 30% takes us to is not taking out our previous area of the most significant low. Therefore, we've moved down the way so far, but what we've done so far is just moved down 20%, and then if we were to move down from the high that we got another 20%, then that would take us down towards this target, which is two 20% added together with a retrace in between, adds up to that overall 30% pullback. And that's what you've seen in 2017 a few times, like 3 or 4 times, big things like that happening over the course, which is why it's really important then to look at this as being our most significant low, drawing in our Fibonacci from there up towards the highs, and looking down the way and recovering what I just said there at the start of this thing. We did come down as far as the 618. We've not taken out the 236 yet. If we see the prices fail to take out 58k, not very good. Best buy price at the minute is, of course, 54,500, managing your risk around about that zone with the ultimate look down the way. If there's going to be one sort of surprise jump point for us, and that's going to be 50k in at the 786, I'm not going to put any faith in the in really anything else along the way until such times as everything's kind of covered for us. Wait a minute, that's the last low there. there in a way. If you want to look at it, sorry, this has been the last low here. The Fibonacci thing actually draws us into the 50% and then a retrace, but the chart is exactly the same. It's just it's not the 618. The 618 on the other hand comes in there at where you would get that bounce at. Why did I get that so wrong in the little clip I did earlier? I don't know. Gonna have to watch my little clip back and see what I did wrong there with that one. Unless I've just made a mistake there now again. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe I just made another mistake. Who knows? Who knows? Right. So yeah, let me just see. Tell us. Oh, yeah. Okay. Cool. So I've explained that to you. Hope you like that one. Let's take a look at VET. VET USDT for VET USDT. VET USDT. Ba-dum, ba-da-da-dum. Ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Just doing a bit of setup here for folk who are wondering what I'm doing. This is the 4-hour time frame. Wow, such a great chart. This is going to be divergent though, right? Yeah, of course it is. Right, so it's the same. This is copy paste your technical analysis from Dodge, and this is it for VET. Here we go. Let's just do it. Let's do it anyway. Hi friends, look at this chart. It is wonderful. It's the VET VeChain USDT chart. We're going to be taking a look at VeChain right now and discussing a couple of key pivot points for us to be really aware of, and a couple of entry zones, targets, risk management stuff, all that good stuff, all of that. And what I'm going to ask you to do in sort of as a reward for me, if you don't mind, is to hit the like button. I would really appreciate it. And join me sometime by hitting subscribe, coming back for a live stream sometime, right? These are the intro clips. You've got like another 10 seconds, plenty of time to move your finger over and hit like. I really would appreciate it. Really would. Not joking. Really would. Okay, you done it? Cool. Excellent. Nice one. So VeChain USDT here. And we're looking at it on the 4-hour time frame. Is that what the person requested? Let me just check. VeChain USDT 4 hours. Yeah, cool. So, and I'm running a drop-in center at the minute. You can come in and drop in and ask for some TA. Now we've got a Fibonacci retracement tool effort on the go here, and it's not you know, it creates a lot of noise in the chart. I understand a lot of noobs out there particularly don't understand what we're looking at here. So let me just color in a line for you, make this 236 red, and say that this is the crucial point for us in terms of Fibonacci technical analysis. And this is a 4-hour time frame. You can see that this crucial price point for us lines up with another crucial price point of the 21 EMA just here as well, and that this is giving us confluence. Okay, so we've got a couple of things at once showing us that if we drop down past this area, we could be looking down further on down. Now there's 3 targets that you generally will be looking to if you push past the 236 on this. By the way, I'm just getting the negative stuff out of the way first because I can wrap up with the positive stuff very, very quickly, and that'll be good. But I'm just giving you the risk management section. It's probably the most important part of trading. So the 3 zones that you would look to is going to be this yellow line, then this sort of green line, and then this blue line. Okay, and let me just bring that back up. So if we do see closures down past that area, then we're looking down to here. Confluence again coming in with the 50 simple moving average, very significant, important moving average for us, and that comes in at 0.186. The 236, by the way, that price point we need to maintain, comes in there at all the 2s, 0.222222222. Then we could be looking down here. It's quite likely actually that you see a bounce from that zone. However, movements down past the 236 give you a 70% chance that you're going to be taking out all we've got a 70% chance you're going towards the 236 easily at that point, so it makes it easy to trade. But then of course as well, there's a big chance you go down to one of these 2 zones. And in fact, typical retrace areas are the 50%, and that comes in at 15.6, and then the 618. Now there's 2 lines at this 618 for us right here in the 4-hour time frame, and there's this blue one and this one over here, which will also make blue, and this is called the golden pocket. Okay, and this golden pocket, you can see, has its own additional confluence for it. So we've got 3 key areas and 3 key doubling up confluences using Fibonacci and moving average theory here. Wow, all on the 4-hour time frame, all for free. Why have you not hit the like button, especially when I practically begged you to earlier on? You know, give a man a bit of pride, why don't you? So anyway, we're looking down the way, and the 200 simple, this white dotted line, lines up perfectly with that. Now those are your 3 key areas for you. I'm going to leave it up to you to choose what we're looking at. All I would say is that I'm being positive on this, bullish, if you like, as we remain above the 2 to 2 to 2 to 2 to 2 area, with a view to potentially going higher. Now, what is the target for us if we want to go crazy on it and look up past our previous high, past the 100% point, up to higher? We were looking up at 35 cents. That's where the 1618 comes in at. That's where I'd be looking to for my next target. So much so that I'm going to just pop a wee horizontal line in there so that I don't need, so I can, you know, remove the Fibonacci and not get to, and not forget about it. That's what I'm looking to. Little bit of caution though. Why did I spend so long talking about negative stuff when the positive stuff is right there and it leads us up all the way up there? And of course, in terms of YouTube, I'd get far more clicks if I just said 50% gains coming in guaranteed, etc. And they could be. And that's what I want to see happen, and it's what I'm hoping to see happen, and it's what I'm trading for, you could say. But there's a big problem for us, and it's actually quite obviously visible if you look between the high here and the next high and the low and the next high, compared to the high, the previous high up to the previous high up to the previous high, and the previous low up to the previous high. If you're looking between those two areas, and let me just show you in terms of a visual representation, because nobody does this, nobody takes the time to, as one reason, but also what you'll find out there in the world of technical analysis is that nobody really understands this. They don't understand it, and I can actually not only help you understand it, but I can actually show you in a visual way what it is that we're looking at in terms of what the numbers behind divergence really show you. And it's like the difference between these two triangles that I'm drawing in just here. Now, if we were to say that that positive price action is acute and divergent price action was somewhat obtuse, then you can see the difference between these two triangles, looking at the high to the high, from the low to the high, and again doing the same thing there afterwards here, and showing you, and of course it's much worse if I use the actual high, showing you then that you've got this divergence down below. Boom! Mind exploded, right? Visualization for divergence. Boom! Fantastic. I reckon that little bit of a clip there is worth $1,000 all on its ownio. So again, you know, please don't make me beg you, but if you actually shared this video with somebody, they'd probably say thank you to you afterwards. There you go. Right, cool. So so we have a bit of bearish divergence. Now, is it properly confirmed in there as such? Well, maybe no, not quite. And I'm waiting to see if the prices drop down below that 2 to 2 to 2 area, then you're getting it confirmed at that point as a local high. At the minute, you've not really done enough to say that that's really a local high, really, because, and that's quite obvious when you look up towards other areas like the 24-hour time frame, where you see so much volatility sandwiched between what actually isn't really distinct highs and lows. It's just huge wicks. Boom, nice one. Hit the like button. I've asked you now 1,000 times, so if you haven't done it by now, then hit the unlike button, right? You know, do one of the two. Like, let me know. It's crazy that I'll see lots of views and hardly any likes. Go ahead. If you don't like what you're seeing, please let me know by hitting the unlike button. I hate all of these sitting on the fence types. Right, nice one. Cool, excellent. So what did we think about that? What did we think about that, chat? Was that cool? Sharing now on Twitter, says Rory. Thank you very much. The twats will indeed appreciate that. Phil, show us visually. Yes, I'm showing you visually. I showed you visually. I showed you bearish, bullish divergence in a way visually. By the way, can I just make a quick little point here for people? Have you ever heard of this thing called Pythagoras theorem, right? Pythagoras theorem. How do you spell that shite? Who gives a shit? So, oh, excuse me. Sorry. language, please. This guy Pythagoras back in the day noticed that the sum of what actually is the word? What's the sentence? Because I can't remember. I hate maths, by the way. The sum of a right-sided what is it? The hypotenuse. What is Pythagoras theorem again? I'm the one that's got the point to make, and I'm asking people to make it for me. Where is it? Because it used to be that it states that the area of the square whose side of the hypotenuse, the side opposite the right angle, is equal to the sum of the areas of the squares on the other two sides. Right? Okay. Why are you talking about this, Rocky? Now, we get taught this at school, and you think to yourself, what you overlook at the time, what you're overlooking when you're being told this is that you want to work out what the angle is going to be of these two things. And people for for hundreds of years were struggling to work this out because they're like, okay, so we could take this number and times it by that number. Oh, it didn't work. We take this and times it, it didn't work. Oh my God, I can see that there's clearly a relationship between these two lines and that there should be a way of working this out. I just can't work it out. Then Pythagoras came along and was like, badam, magic. See if you take that number and square it and take this other number and square it and then add them together and then take the square root of that number, then there you go. And everyone's like, fucking hell, maths, Jesus. This guy's solved like maths. Wow, this is how this works. So now we know that we can work out this line, but we had to do this amazing thing called squaring stuff and coming back down. And actually, now you grow up and you take it all for granted and you forget that. Let me just remind you that what we're looking at when we see oscillators down below is a visual representation of the price action that we're looking at up above. So if I were to take out a triangle and just draw in a random triangle, then there you go. There's a visual representation of different angles, etc., etc. And you can use a thing called Pythagoras theorem to work out what like this and this and this angle will be if you just know two of them, etc., etc. And you can do it by doing this thing. And you don't just take A plus B equals C to get the answer. No, you have to go A squared plus B squared over the square root of the thing, and then you get the answer. Badam, and then it is the feckin' answer, and that's the feckin' answer, right? Well, the same thing exists with all of these oscillators down below. They're all kind of taking little things that you can see visually and then changing it around using maths and to show you some other information which does directly correlate back to the price action itself. And it's not it's like these things are not exclusive to be looked at in terms of just some maths or something that you shouldn't understand or that you shouldn't be that you don't have access to understanding. All I want to do here is dispel any notion that this is like for elites only. It's not elitism only. You can actually see behind the curtain here, hopefully me showing you that this is the way that it works. And that Pythagoras himself, when he came up with this theorem, it's got nothing to do with trading at all. But what it has got to do with is this idea of that there's something which is there where you can look at and you go, this should be obvious. I should be able to work this out. But for a long period of time, people weren't able to work it out, okay? It was only when someone came along and says, you do this thing, you do this thing. And it actually is fairly simple and it's surprising, but then it works out and boom. And we say the same thing in every time that we look at any sort of math crap at all. I hate math, right? I hate maths and I hate the way that mathematicians go on about loving maths, right? I hate it. But I understand what they're talking about, right? It's not hating it through ignorance. It's hating it through, whatever. But I just hate it. But I can see the beauty in it, right? I can see the beauty in it. I can see the beauty in it, okay? Just like how when women say they don't like cars and then but then they can totally tell that a Ferrari is worth more than a Nissan Micra. Like they can tell, right? So it's the same sort of thing. Anyway, there we go. I hope there's some sort of like something somewhat revealing in that sort of chit chat for you. I'm not really 100% sure. I didn't work that out in advance. Maybe if I'd scripted that out, I'd have come up with some really profound thing to say. I think the profound thing is in there anyway. Nobody's asked for another coin, so let's just do a couple of they do, man. Andrew Gibson, he was right about that. Then let's just take a look at a couple of other coins, right? Get your suggestions in if you want me to take a look at anything in particular. We're just moving on to take a look at XRP at the minute. Couple of quick things then to point out, just for people who want to know. XRP, by the way, my name's Rocky Outcrop. Likes and subscribes, massively appreciated. I really am an actual human being with feelings and everything, and when you hit the like button, it makes me feel really great. Actually, what it does is when you hit the like button, by the way, it makes me want to come back and do another one of these episodes, and I want to keep doing this forever. So keep encouraging it. I'll keep helping you, you keep helping me. So what we can see here is that the West moved down below the 236, and this 236 came in at our crucial red horizontal line, and of course we popped on down and we're at the 382 at this point overall. And this is where it comes into the whole idea of like, what are the statistical playouts from Fibonacci retracements? And maybe that's a good enough question to ask Google. What are the how do you even spell? I hate spelling, man. Statistical outcomes of Fibonacci retracements. See if somebody's done it for me and written an article out there that tells me the statistical analysis for it. We'll just go with, I'm feeling lucky style. I'll just go with the top one. Some 26-year-old figured something and he bought himself a car and a hat and some trainers. I'm super happy for him and all that. Where's the statistical analysis of it though? Has he told me anything about percentages? Okay, cool. So I got bored of that. Anyway, right. So when you move past 70, ADHD for the win. When you move past the 236 overall, you know, there's a 70% chance that you're going to come down to any of these levels. We've come down to the 382. This would be your ideal bounce point, really, for us to maintain the bullishness overall. If we don't, you know, and we've wicked down as low as this, and you can see the relationship between horizontal lines that I've drawn in, horizontal lines of significant areas, Fibonacci's. You can see that then between these, that you're getting wicks down to the Fibonacci's, body close, or to the horizontal lines, body closes at the Fibonacci's, showing you that there actually is an interrelationship between these two lines, and that you can actually then identify like a zone as a result of doing this. And then you can say that then beyond that, you're looking down to the 50. I mean, that's no surprise there, right? Obviously. But if you get past that crucial zone, and because we're already seeing an inflection in here, because we've already come down, tested it, come back up, moved up, if we just slowly go through this zone and don't find any bounces here or here, then then it's not very good. If we see that we come around here and it's quite volatile and it pushes back up immediately, then cool, okay. But I'd actually then be at this stage looking down towards the 618, and that comes in there at about 8 cents or 80 cents. Okay, so that's crazy. But anyway, plenty of other stuff. And what I actually said at the start of that clip there about VET is that, or XR about VET, was that it looks like the Doge chart, and I didn't actually go on and explain anything about what they're similar, and I actually had quite different talk about them too. It's very interesting, the dynamics there. But what was inspiring me to think like that was, of course, was partly influenced by the Ichimoku cloud at the time, and we can see the significant, like the stacking up of areas in here with regards to the sort of at a glance indicator here. We don't even need anything else on. We can see this is super important. We know then, like, this whole area is super important. We know that the 50% area for between the lows and the highs is in at this zone. So Donchian channel is important. We know the 21 EMAs right here. So from so many perspectives, like Bollinger Band, for example, very important, right? You know, so like, so many things, overlap galore, right? And when you find overlap galore, then what does it do? Well, it makes it very easy for you to manage your risk, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Yes, it does. And then what you have here is anything that you want to do in here is totally appropriate. However, what you could do is, for example, look at movements down past the 50 to say that, well, if we go down there, then we're going past that, and we could easily go on another 20% beyond the zone of this cutoff. I'm going to use the round number area of just past $1. Then or whatever, that gives me 20% sort of freedom of movement down towards 618, where I don't have to worry about losses or gains, etc. You also get a decent risk reward potential off the back of a movement up just to where our previous high was, coming in at around about 5-1 with this trade. And that's what you'd be looking at, right, with regards to this liquidity box in here. Having had this sketched out in advance is obviously helpful for people, but you know, I can't be all things to all people, everywhere, all at once, all the time. But there you go. This would have been completely possible to do everything that I've just done in terms of analysis, other than where the 21 EMA is back. Although pretty much everything that I would have talked about, pretty much the one biggest thing that wouldn't have been possible to do would have been no, nothing. Everything that I've just done, where I've explained what this orange box is, was possible to do back there when the prices are at 198 on the 14th of April. You could have done all of that then, and so often that's what you see me doing on the show, by the way. If you're ever wondering what's he doing, why is he talking about this, why is he talking about all this stuff that's way down there when the prices are up here, and then a few days go by and I do something like this and suddenly it seems so obvious and crucial and alarm bells are ringing and you need to know this information right here, right now. Well, actually, so often I've done it like maybe a week beforehand, and that's the dynamic that's on the go. Just to explain all that to people, that's good enough. I don't even know if that constitutes a clip. Maybe I can use that. I don't know. Whatever. Education, good stuff. Moving on. Let's just do another couple of coins here. Is anybody else asking me to do anything? Let me just check out the chat. Zoner, aftermarket Nissan Micra spoiler costs more than a Ferrari, but the chicks don't even know it. Yeah, lol. Andreas saying, it's good that only a few people consequently use these maths on charts. I imagine if it would be the majority of people, it would be like sitting at a poker table with no fishes, just sharks circulating pot odds. Man, you know, that's one of the best examples. That's one of the best examples, Andreas. one of the best examples that you can get. Well done, nice one, thanks. I appreciate reading that comment. So often in trading, that is the case. And when we see money being taken off of people, the money that gets taken off of is, you know, the guy that's losing money with down here, this region, he's getting liquidated in this box here, is the guy who was long in it here with too much leverage at the top. And from a poker point of view, they're bulls, right? You know, like the bulls in terms of what it is to play poker. For people who don't play poker, what is a bull poker? With a C. Poker bull is a bluffing poker card. Screw it. There's obviously a game called bull poker. Anyway, a bull in poker is somebody who would long this top, essentially, right? But the reason he'd be long that top is because in poker, the dynamic exists amongst the people at the table there, and he'd be trying to sort of like, you know, force people to fold, playing aggressively, that sort of thing, forcing them to say, oh, you know, the risk here is far too high. The obvious thing to do here at this point is to take a small short, and then the bull tries to force you to fold and go, oh god, you know, I might have had 2 aces, but I can't play against that guy. Down here, then you've got sharks, right? And that's kind of what Andreas is saying. You know, it's like if the whole entire market worked with sharks, then there'd be nothing left for the other guys, and we're the other guys, right? And what we're trying to do is take money from people, essentially, right? But not in a personal way. Andrew Gibson, thanks so much for hitting that like button. If you're hungry for alts to draw meme triangles on, I'm in a dodgy BNB long at the moment. Right, cool. And somebody's asking for RNDR. I'm going to assume that means reindeer. If I had a coin and I called it RNDR, it'd be to do with reindeers. And that brings back memories of the guys on the Terror chatting about how they once had to take reindeers with them because Sir John had insisted that they take the reindeers with them. So they were putting them in the boats in the frozen water. And it was wonderful. Anyway, skipping the Zilliqa analysis, I guess, maybe. I don't know. So we just do. I'll go on. I'll do 30 seconds of Zilliqa analysis, right? Hi friends. Oh well, hit a stream marker. By the way, continue to get your questions in. I got it's 24 minutes past 1. I'll be tuning out within 35 minutes. I'll not be here when the stream has been on for 2 hours. I will not be here anymore. Okay, so just be aware. I'll be tuning out within the next 35 minutes or so. Right. Cool. So. Hi friends, Zilliqa looking pretty good for a move up the way. Eek. Or is it? Well, you know, actually, in lots of ways, we've done really well. We've come back down and retested this 50 simple period moving average here, and this is the 24-hour time frame. So that's no, that's like, you know, that's nothing to be sort of sniffed at. And we've come really close down. Now, you could look and say that we need to go a bit further. We need to test the cloud. We need to test the lower end of the cloud, etc. As we've seen plenty of other assets do recently. Let's just try and find. So like this one that came all the way down to the lower end of the cloud in here, for example, you could be saying that's what needs to happen, and that would be totally understandable if that's what you were talking about. However, you know, looking back the way we've come up and we've like that arrow suggests, we've come up and we've been testing off the 50 simple, and it's been kind of like a sort of one or the other thing. Here we tested off the top end of the Ichimoku cloud, came down, touched that 50. Here we tested the 50, that was satisfactory enough. Here we've done the 50. So, you know, we're looking okay in terms of a move up the way, but we're not like there yet. And if there's and given this is down 10% today, this could be today's best buy. Of course, it's very much counter trend in terms of the smaller term timeframes. When we see the prices of Zilliqa go back up above 19.32, then the chances of it going on up the way and maybe coming in with a sort of 22 to 23 move, very much possible, giving you an easily sort of 30% move there, 10 to 20% move easily for you to capture if you wait and you're patient on this one here. Jumping down the way, just so people can see this in terms of what I meant, you know, very much a counter trend move, given that towards the downside is where the price has been going here on the daily, on the 15-minute time frame. So if you are looking at this and you were looking for an entry, perhaps what you could be thinking, I'm not a financial advisor, none of this financial advice, is that you would wait to see the Ichimoku cloud get across. You know, I have the conversion line and the baseline there is purple and green. So you'll be looking for this green line to cross this purple line, for example, and for the prices to take out the 21 EMA. Then what you maybe be doing is saying, well, I'll take profit off my position position, take a third of the position's profit right at the resistance point, for example, in there at 19.8, if you were to try and be bullish on this from where we are right now. Now, what reasons would you have to do that? Well, 1, 2, 3. This constitutes a sort of triple bottom overall here, and you can see that like that. The MACD's got that little sort of spike on it. The RSI, yeah. So we're not bullishly divergent in this last recent thrust down the way compared to our previous lows in here in this 15-minute time frame. You know, we are potentially a little bit just jumping up towards the 1 hour to sort of clarify these lows then and see that low, and indeed this was ever so slightly lower, and indeed, yeah, bullish divergence. Yeah, fantastic. So that's it. So that's what we were looking for. So what I did there is started off in the 24-hour time frame, went all the way down to the 15-minute time frame to sanitize what I was talking about, found something that might be intriguing, verified it on the 1 hour time frame, and then I presented it to you with the idea of taking profits at a fairly early area to sort of safeguard yourself and to carry that on to, you know, really big moves essentially up towards that 22 area if you're trading this with a, you know, complete and absolute degen embracing the sort of moronic attitude type thing. If that's, but you know, and this is a potential for us, right? Great, fantastic. Negative things, yeah, we just had a cross here on the negative cross, but what do we say happens after we get crosses? You know, significant golden and death crosses. Well, the moving averages get tested, so I would be taking profit on any subsequent retest of that 50 simple moving average with a view to perhaps capturing that 22 move up the way. Okay, wow, I just did that for free and told you exactly how to trade it. Now, what's missing from this? What's missing from this is, of course, your risk management. There's two ways, or there's plenty of ways of looking at it. Since we talked about this in terms of like looking up the way, then of course you could sort of choose your own odds on anything like this. So there's a sort of an idea, and that gives you a 3-to-2 type of risk to reward overall. Now, could this obviously, you know, fairly quite a high chance that this would actually get broke. So what we're looking to try and buy into is momentum continuation. Right, cool. Phil, gotta go. Good stream, Rocky. Cheers, all. Cheers, Phil. Catch you later. Thanks very much for tuning in. So yeah, Lauren Setscorn. Lauren Setscorn. Good name, Lauren. Yeah, okay, cool. Let's take a look at Rinder token. Token Rinder. See you later, Phil. Rinder Usd. Rinder is traded on KuCoin and not on the big ones. Okay, cool. Right, nice one. Woof. Obviously, you're going to have a bit more volatility in these slightly less liquid markets. Let me just look at this in the 1 minute and see if it's full of gaps. No, it is actually traded here on KuCoin. No, it's full of gaps, but so it's not traded. It's not massively liquid. Let's see the 3 minutes. Still not looking liquid. 5 minutes. Still not looking liquid. 15 minutes. Still not liquid. You're seeing huge moves. See, this is quite obvious, right? What I'm doing right now, quite obvious to people. Little lesson. You know, you're looking at an asset you've never looked at before. You want to know, because all of these things are relative to each other. You don't know if that's big volume or small volume or whatever, and you're looking to see how well this thing's traded, how liquid it is, and you can see that they get these moves and they go from one end to the next. And what this means is that the prices were sat here at 108, and they were sat here at 108 for, like, you know, they dropped down the way, cascaded all the way down, and it went down, and somebody got liquidated, and their last liquidation happened in here at 95. Then the prices came back up to 102 because somebody bought it just with one token or whatever. Then somebody bought one more token, and because there was no liquidity in the market, the one market order pushed it up $1, pushed up 13 cents. So $1 or less, like this costs $1. Yeah, so for $1 you could push the price up 10% for the entire market cap of the coin. Just so you understand what the relationship between liquidity and how visible that is on charts. Okay, so Lauren, you might not have understood that before. You probably did, because I think this is extremely obvious to the eyes, but you might not have understood it. Where are we right now with regards to this one? 15-minute time frame crossed down negatively on the stochastics. We've got resistance up ahead. We've not got we've just had a cross here on the Ichimoku cloud conversion and baseline, but the prices are actually dropping down below it during that period. Could be a really good little low risk buy here, but you'd have to take profit super early on this one, because what we're seeing here in the on the 50-minute time frame is, of course, is downward trend, big loads of resistance up above us. But there's an angle of attack here to go through of the Ichimoku cloud, and that's your best angle. Probably anywhere between that and that in this zone here would be nice to see on your 15-minute time frame for you. Anyway, that's not going to make it into the clip. That's just to help you, because I suspect that you're trading this with like high leverage right here, right now, kind of, you know, going YOLO to the wall or whatever. So I just kind of gave that out to you for their 15-minute time frame. Let's do this on a reasonable time frame scale instead, like the 4-hour time frame, and talk about a couple of things. This is obviously a very new coin as well, very, very new as well. So right, here we go. Let's do this. Nobody's going to be interested. I'll make it into a clip anyway. Just yeah, no, you're welcome, Lauren. So yeah, I wonder how many views this thing gets, right? Because it's, you know, it's existed for less than for 203 days. So 200, yeah, this is its 203rd day existing. Okay, so we'll assume that it's not going to be super popular. Great. Well, I'll just actually I'll set this up first. A couple of things that people might want to know about. Not so interested in talking about that. Sorry, I could. If you've ever seen any of my episodes where I talk for half an hour, I explain, I educate people. It's like university level. I have a master's degree from a classical university that's widely acknowledged as being one of the best universities in the world for a very long time, by the way, for anybody who's interested in knowing. So when I say things like it's like university level, stuff like that, I know what I'm talking about. By the way. Right. So yeah, when I talk for half an hour about something, I tend to, you know, educate people during it. Let's not do that today, though, too much. All right. Stream marker. Hi, DGens. Let's take a look at Render. That's R-E-N-D-E-R. Or the actually, like, okay, fell all over my words there. Let's start this again. Hi, DGens. Let's take a look at RNDR. That is Render Token. When I first saw this ticker, I was kind of hoping that it would be Reindeer Token, just for the lols of it, because this is crypto after all. But it's Render Token. Why am I so unaware of the name of the token? Well, that's because I personally think that technical analysis is really, really good and is going to lead to your success. And fundamental analysis, even extended as far as knowing the name of something, is basically pointless. Let's take a look then, therefore, at the technical analysis and see if we can make some plans to make money with this. In this section, this is the intro clip. It lasts for like 10 seconds. If you hit the like button, I really appreciate it. Subscribe if you're looking for more crypto technical analysis. That's my name, Rocky.outcrop. Okay, you hit the like button, you hit the like button, you hit it? Cool, good. Now I'm going to ask you to hit that like button again. If you haven't hit it now and you're thinking, I'll wait and see if it's actually worth hitting like on, then before you tune out, just move the mouse over and hit like, or move your thumb over and hit. Really, you know, massively appreciate it. That's all I want. That's all I want. What we're looking at here is, well, there's the Ichimoku cloud up there. I appreciate for the old noob tubes out there that you might not be able to see past the all of the swirly drawings on the charts to understand what we're looking at. What else is on this chart right now? Well, there's a Fibonacci retracement, and there's these couple of lines on there, and they are moving averages. Now, there's this 2 white dots just here showing you that this is the 200 simple moving average. That we've got 2 of them. So this is the 203rd day that this coin has actually been in existence. I will point out real quick that on the 4-hour time frame, very much sloping towards the downside. 24-hour time frame, sloping towards the downside on that 21. Exponential moving average, 12-hour time frame, sloping towards the downside, 50, maybe a little bit up, right? So overall, and then again, low small term time frames, all looking negative, right? So if you're going to be trading with the trend on this one, it's quite obvious that in terms of like just intraday trading, you'd be taking shorts on this one and trading towards the downside. That's quite obvious. But I'm here to tell you, and that's why I said hello DGens at the start of this one, there's actually a huge, ridiculously, stupidly big profit potential on this coin, and it kind of comes in with the potential to move between this area of the 236 up towards various targets up above. Now the 618 as an example here would be a 50% increase in price. Couple of key considerations to make though, that if the prices did move up that 50%, they'd be going past 2 of the most significant structural areas in this coin's history. It's only 203 days old, so it's easy to say that. But these are two of the most significant areas. This high in here at around about $2 on the 31st of March, and then this high around about $2 on April, right? Those two areas, you'd be taking that out, and I would be inclined to actually look higher up if we can do that with any degree of momentum. Be aware that obviously profit taking is clearly, obviously, like even a blind man would be aware that this is a zone where profit taking would happen at. But if we look down the way here and say, well, could we push past that 236 and move up? What would happen at that point? Well, you know, a few things. For taking out the 150 area would prevent a death cross on the 4-hour time frame between these. Wait a minute, 200. This is the 4-hour time. This isn't 203 days old. What am I talking about? How many days old is this? Because that's the 202. This has existed since the 17th of March. It's a couple of weeks old. Whatever. Eh? Probably no one's going to be interested in this. Further doubling down on how important it would be if you hit like on this video. It'd be really, important with this brand new coin. Anyway, if we see us taking out that 236, we're taking out our previous low. Very good. Simple market structure would tell you that you could come in here for a lower high because this is a downward trend anywhere, and you'd be taking profits probably at around about 180. I'm not a financial advisor. None of this financial advice, but that's still a huge move up the way in terms of percentage, a move between 136 and of course 180. But we could be looking even higher. Now, there are a couple of reasons for that. I'm going to bring on the Ichimoku cloud to kind of make this a little bit easier for me to describe. And in fact, I'll just hide the moving averages here at the same time. And how about I jump back down to the 4-hour time frame where the Ichimoku cloud actually has some data to show up, and hide all the drawings, hit the auto button, and bring up the price action full screen so we can look at this area right here and say that if we push up, past that 236, we would get across here between the green and the purple line. That's the base and conversion line. That's a positive thing, and it's a tradable event. Now you'll be looking up towards where the cloud areas as your profit taken, then therefore, and popping on the Fibonacci. That does mean that the 382 in there at 160 is also an area where you could see a bounce at. But as you can see, the cloud itself then diminishes, goes away. It's gone. And that if we do this over the period of time and have a trajectory that looks somewhat like this sort of a thing, then we would be going past that and bypassing that whole area of resistance, taking us up potentially towards that 50 target a little bit easier. Now, this is all contingent on getting across, so I'm waiting for the prices to really take out that sort of 127 area, really, and confirm this as a cross. Low-term time frame, I want to be very clear. I mean, this is a downtrend, right? So really, it's almost idiotic for me to say that there's this upward move potential for us. I'll explain a little bit just in the last final seconds of this video why that's the case. But here in the 15-minute time frame, as you can see with this downward trend, we could be looking at this in the next, the immediacy here, sort of near here and now sort of thing, as having this cross and coming up and testing these areas and giving us an opportunity to push outside of the cloud here and perhaps move up the way, having spent almost no time above the cloud over the last couple of days or a couple of weeks, which actually adds up to a significant chunk of this thing's lifetime. Now, there's a couple other reasons why you might think that there could be some positivity, and let me just bring up this then as a way of showing you that we're above the moving average here in the RSI outside of the bearish control zone. We have come in and we have come back down to the stochastics neutral. Look, I was hoping to see some bullish divergence, but there isn't any bullish divergence there. I mean, this is a downward trend, right? What do you want from me? This is if you want to trade this sensibly, use stop losses and look down the way. If you're actually starting to think to yourself, hey, there's a few reasons which I suppose this is your fundamentals, right? So your fundamentals are, this thing hasn't existed for any given time at all. Overall markets are towards the top side. Ain't nobody going to be able to actually tell you what this thing's worth because it's purely speculative that's based on. Nothing from what it does is really going to change. They could hire God as their CEO and that might change the fundamentals of it. But other than that, there's pretty much very limited what they can do. And that the overall markets could get a big bounce now, which might carry this along with it. In which case, if that were to happen, then that's where you're looking for on a technical basis. Excuse me for those sirens going by outside, just so that you know, of course, as well, this is very much showing you that it's negative in terms of every single thing that you have there for it. The only thing that I would say is that there is seemingly no hidden bearish divergence. So that's good overall. 24-hour time frame, like I say, I mean, this is so brand new. Our Ichimoku cloud is an absolute joke. We only have this. We've got the lagging line, but the lagging line's basically meaningless. All we've got is the conversion line here, or not the conversion. We've got the conversion line. Ooh, all we've got is lagging lead one. All we've got is lead one. You know, it's still relatively new time for us here. So the Ichimoku cloud doesn't have a cloud on the daily time frame. Whatever. Look, that's what I'm looking at on this one. It'd be nice to see a bounce. We've had a nice movement up the way. If we take out the 236, that's totally possible. If we don't, then we don't. And if you are looking at this from a sort of the trend must go on point of view, then the question is, how far have we come in the trend? And I wasn't going to talk about this, but I've decided to talk about it after all. We've come down as far as the 786. We're past the 618, and that really, from a macro point of view, it's time to taking profits on your shorts. Really, if we move back up past that zone, especially, we've taken out the conversion line of the Ichimoku cloud. We're taking out the 236 Fibonacci and going past that 618 again, you know, having come down as far as the 786 and then bounced up the way. So, you know, technically speaking, if you want to have a sort of degen, higher risk but huge reward trade on this one, looking for the overall markets to kind of change the tide and carry this up with a rising tide lifts all boats. There you go. If you're going to be sensible at this thing, you have to wait. And if you're actually looking to trade this in the here and now, well, you've got that potential 15-minute move I was talking about, but it's got very, very sort of quick profit-taking targets on it. And we're looking to see if we can get through this zone. Until the prices are above 130, you're kind of preempting longs. But there you have it. So Lawrence Setzkorn says, thank you. You're welcome. I'm glad you like that. Right. Anybody else got any suggestions? We're 1 hour 43 minutes into the stream. I've made a few videos, a few videos about coins that we're talking about. Anybody got anything they want me to take a look at? There was the guy Douglas earlier on that asked me to take a look at a coin, but it's brand new as well, and I'm not into fundamentals. I think fundamentals are for complete and absolute. I think fundamentals are not for us. Social media mall, could you take a look at IOTA? I really like the tech. Fundamentals, winky face. But what about the TA? Well, I'll tell you, right? The fundamentals are obviously meaningless. Let's just check out the fundamentals on IOTA first before we start. IOTA, check out the fundamentals. There we go. Nice one. Check them out. Excellent. Now, continuing on. Oh, by the way, thanks for joining me for looking at this. If you are just joining me, we're about to do TA on IOTA. That was me just checking out the fundamentals there now. Everything you need to know. Did you miss it? Let me just show you the IOTA fundamentals. Everything that you need to know about IOTA. There you go. Nice one. Who cares? That's what I mean. Take it. That's all you need to know about fundamentals. There you have it. Right. So this is the technical analysis still for it. Well, what a bit of a mess this 15-minute chart is. You can see a little bit more sideways than something which is heavily trending, but of course we have a high, a low, and so far a lower high, and potentially you could be on the way to a lower low. What we want to see is, will we see the prices turn around a wee bit? Because on the bigger time frames, very, very, very obvious upward trend, very, very clear. Where we came down to in terms of the 4-hour time frame, testing off the lower area of the Ichimoku cloud, up and down again, you know, back into the cloud ever so slightly, back out of it, kind of struggling at the minute to take out that previous high. Fair enough, because if we had it done, we would have been bearishly divergent, as we've seen with a lot of other cryptos out there that have actually just put in a new high today. Then they're very, like, you know, the likes of which, if you're looking for example, and I know people love examples, by the way, if you hit that like button, then I really appreciate it. An example of which is Dogecoin. So we've got a new high today. Looking down here, you know, that potential for divergence. It's not confirmed, blah, 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 etc., etc., etc. Now, on that IOTA coin, let's bring it up again. IOTA, then what we're seeing here is that didn't put in that high overall, okay? We have actually dropped down the way, blah. So it's not actually going to be divergent, but it's obviously weak. And what we're looking to is, can we bust out of this area? If we don't, then pattern-wise, what you're looking at is probably something along the lines of some sort of triangle coming in here. Now, I'm not super keen on that, given the way that the cloud is wrapping all around us, and we've been in a very much upward trend zone. But we could, you know, we could see that. Instead, what I want to see happen is, of course, the resumption of the overall upward trend. And what's the first thing that you would look to see if that's the case? Well, you want to have, of course, a valid Fibonacci retracement for us, and we have one. We're above the 236. That's very good. Now, we might have completed it, by being above the 786. Oh, what do you mean? Do you mean to say that we should have drawn the Fibonacci in between these two areas? And if that's the case, well, you know, taking out the area at 215 is very important. And that's so obvious, isn't it? When you look at the charts here, that we need to be above that 215 area to get into the positive stretch, you know, where you could be looking up towards 250. Really fantastic move. And you're not even looking up for, or let's call it 240. And you're not even looking up for a higher high or anything. And you're just consolidating, and you're getting a 13% move during consolidation. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Just want to underline again the point that fundamentals are going to not help you at all in anything that you do in life. Anyway, but still, if we want to get a great move where you get a 10% move on something and it's during a phase where it's still consolidating, it's not even taking out its previous high, that's possible for us. And I'd be doing that with movements past the 215 potentially for us. Now, let's be very clear as well that this would be based off the back of this cross that's happening between the purple line that's just here and the green line. You might not be able to see the purple line given I'm using the same colors for my what do you call them? I should make it red on the negative so that people got that thing. Anyway, so there you go. So there's this cross that just happened here. White line crossing over that red line there. You can see it a bit better, I suppose. And that would be the basis for your trade in the 4-hour time frame. You've got a cross above the cloud. Price action taking out the 236 of this crappy little move here, looking up towards the top side. If we do that, otherwise, then I'm looking down towards the lower end of the Bollinger Band of the Ichimoku cloud in there at 213. From 213, movement down towards 190. Okay, so again, there you go. A nice solid 10% move if you wanted to have one without even having to take out a previous lows. Consolidating, getting more than 10% moves in a period of consolidation. Like, go on, check out the Microsoft chart and show me one example in its entire history as a company where you've been able to do stuff like that. I'd like to see it. Actually, that's a bad example because there are quite a few examples of that. Whatever, you get the point I'm making. So what do we want to do here? Yeah, well, I said Bollinger Band by accident, so let's just talk about the Bollinger Band for a second or two, since we could. And boom, towards the lower end of the Bollinger Band, like I said by accident. Obviously, this is this area where the median line of the Bollinger Band comes in at. Where's that at with regards to the sort of just in relationship towards where we had our previous highs and lows? Right at the 50% area. So, you know, 1,000,001 things telling us that we can move between these two zones. If we go up past it, then we're on, you know, and it's up towards 268. But that's not even it. I mean, where's the larger trend likely liable to take us to? Where could the larger macro take us to off the back of this massive amount of energy? Now, if I'm saying that in a phase where it's consolidating, you could get 10% without even taking out, you could even get 15% without even taking out its previous high or low. That's quite unusual, really. Not in crypto, but it's unusual in terms of human history. What that kind of says is to you that there's a good degree of movement in this one. It's fairly price inelastic, okay, which is you get big movements with its price. Supply and demand changes rapidly with regards to this one's price. And that gives you the sort of the gusto you might need to look up towards these targets. I mean, and $3.35 is going to be one of these targets in here at the 618. If you're looking up towards it, that would be where we could see the prices rising up to. Now, there's various areas that you would want to take profit at, such as your previous highs, such as the 1272, etc. But that is one way of working out where you could be taking profit at in a world where, of course, you're in all-time highs and there's no realistic way of really working them out. These things happen so very frequently. Nice one. Social media mall, thanks. If you look at the 5-year time frame, fundamentals do matter. Yeah. If you look at the 5-year time frame, fundamentals do matter. Absolutely. If you look at the 5-year time frame, fundamentals do matter. If you look at the 5-year time frame, fundamentals matter. God. If you look at the 5-year time frame, fundamentals matter. Sweet. You're right. You're right. Coming up for its 5-year anniversary this year. That's not the same for all of them. It's not the same for all of them. You're right. By the way, didn't mean to be disparaging towards anybody in particular. I say it in that way. It sounds very harsh. The way I talk there, by the way, is the sort of way that would make somebody who doesn't care laugh. Somebody who does care feel a whole load of animosity towards me. And that's cruel to be kind, right? People need to know this. They need to know it, okay? They need to know it. They need to know it, and no judgment here. I mean, I get it, because you get told by everybody to look at fundamentals all the time, but... Right, any thoughts on Safe Moon? Safe Moon, Kevin, you're asking me to take a look at Safe Moon. Let's do Safe Moon again. I have to go to that stupid Guru exchange. I don't know if I don't have it in my autofill. Guru, what was it again? SafeMoon.net. I think it takes me to their stupid thing if I go live chart. Yeah, that's how you get to it. Dex.guru. It's not the fastest exchange in the world, this, ladies and gentlemen. Right. It's coming. It's coming. Maybe. Seems to have stopped loading there, so I'm going to have to refresh it. So we'll try it. We'll try it, Kenny, mate. No, really like your approach, just being contra to fuel discussion. Yeah, man. No, you're right. From a massive broad term point of view, fundamentals do matter, but all fundamentals are going to tell you... Let me just explain this, right? When people look at fundamentals in traditional world, what they're looking for is value, overall earnings and stuff like that, you know, to relate back to previous ones. They can look at the value of the stock and assess its value. There's no value in any cryptocurrency that's accepted by everyone, apart from people who talk about fundamentals, who then lost money and lose money through their nose all throughout bear markets, and then try and tell everybody how right they were during bull markets. And it's just laughable, and it's wrong. Sorry, I started off that sentence wanting to explain what fundamentals are from a... Maybe if I take off this old Brave shit, this thing will actually load up. Wanted to just explain what fundamentals are and how people use them in the real world, and talk about like experience from having worked in institutions in the past, and what fundamentals are and how it changes your decision-making basis and what they actually use them for. And I'll tell you that somebody who talks about fundamentals quite a bit isn't trading crypto. They're not trading crypto, they're just investing. So what you'll do is you'll find somebody who wants to talk about... There's people out there that are just liars, basically, right? Whatever. Sorry, man. Kevin, looks like we're not going to get anywhere with this thing. Like, I'm trying to get this stupid Dex to load up, and it doesn't want to bloody load up. Is there anything else anybody else wants to take a look at? I'm in the last 6 minutes of the show, so cool. Yeah, fundamentals don't drive prices in crypto. 1 year, 5 years, 20 years, etc. Well, I mean, this thing has been around for 12 years in its entirety, and it hasn't existed any longer than it. So yeah, there's other things I can talk about in terms of fundamentals and stuff like that. People will try and say things like Plan B is fundamentals. Let's just see, Plan B thing. What's his plan? What's he called again? He's called like 100 trillion. Yeah, 100 trillion. Not the singer. 100 trillion. This guy, by the way, for everybody who doesn't know it, is an absolute complete fucking moron. Let's just see, is a complete fucking moron. Has anybody ever said that before? No. A lot of people laughed at it before. Let's just see what he says here. We'll get around to doing the last TA before we go in a second. Is that going to load up? Is it my internet's the problem? Maybe it's my internet that's the problem. I don't know. A lot of people laughed at Plan B's stock-to-flow model earlier this year. Some even tried to dox him, but in fact his model almost perfectly tracking price. As of 4 days ago, the model versus actual Bitcoin price was in $30. Incredible. Incredible. Couple of things, he updates this model all the time. Let's just do this. Let's just see. Can we go, what's it called again? The Wayback Machine. Wayback Machine. No, it's called archive.org. Archive.org. you know, you could probably do this if you wanted to. I was thinking about making an episode about it myself. And then you get 100 trillion. What's this? It's a stupid website for this fucking moron. 100 trillion plan B. 100 thingy plan B. What's this stupid website? Is it here? Is this a stupid website? Yeah, this is a stupid website. So let's stick it back in then and go back, and we'll get one of the things. You know, this is a model which shouldn't really have changed, but of course he changes it all the time. Oh, it's found is invalid and no response from the Elasticsearch. I'm not. The world is conspiring against me. What if I take out HTTPS? Search metadata. No. Searched archived websites. You bloody what? People don't come here to look at metadata. Right, so 2020. Where was his pre-2020 website? That makes it a bit harder. Let's take a look back here, though. Let's just have a look. It's completely failed. It's completely failed every single time. It completely failed. It failed last year. I explained to people last year when it failed. Last year, and that long before. So cool. April 2020, Bitcoin stock to flow cross-asset model. I'm sorry that my internet speed's not quick enough to make this, like, you know, a super pleasurable experience for me, mostly waiting. I don't know how much he's updated this thing. I just don't want to read his updated one. Oh wait, it's first published in 2019. Great, excellent. So I'm afraid I have to, you know, I have to go down through the rabbit hole here to do this forensic analysis of the closest thing to a graphical representation of fundamentals. Right, cool, nice one. By the way, if I wasn't clear on this thing, I think this guy's a complete charlatan, an arsehole, and a fucking moron. But there you go. That's just my opinion about someone who's anonymous. If the guy wasn't anonymous, I wouldn't talk like that. But he's anonymous, so he'll never ever have a problem with me saying it because he's anonymous. He'll never turn up at my front door and say I'm Plan B, because it's anonymous. Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing that to me? Why? I guess this is because this is... Don't do that to me. Now, stop. There you go. There's a tip for anybody who hasn't used the internet for the last 20 years. If you find a website's not loading up after a wee while, you just hit the stop button. So we want to see if he's talking about where it's going to be... Right. There we go. We can also see that there'll be a predicted price of the $55,000 after the May 2020 halving. So let's just check in with Bitcoin and see how things went after the in and around about there. I mean, we know that the prices went up to around $55,000 and all that, but it is of course just a stupid right. It's a what he's doing there is he's just taking the supply and demand thing and scanning out across a long time. Oh, I was supposed to look at BNB. I forgot to look at BNB. I'll have to do that before I go as well. Why am I struggling here with this? Right. I don't want the Ichimoku cloud on the charts anymore. It's really annoying me now. So what he's done here is he's done something like logarithmic chart, daily time frame, right? And you go like, whoa, no, the weekly time frame. You don't want the Bollinger Bands on there anymore either, especially not on this. It's totally useless. This is his thing here. There we go. There we have it. Okay, so that's what that's that line there, and we're seeing that if there's this line, let me just actually ditch all the drawings so I can draw this properly. You can see that there's this line here. Okay, so everybody knows the date is the 19th of April 2021. Rocky Outcrop has just invented the Plan C model. Here it is here. And it puts us in roughly, when's the next halving going to be? If that was 2024, puts the prices in roughly at 181.8 million at the next halving. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. There you have it. Now, how is he able to come up with 55k? Let's just look back here and see. And at around about May 2020, Oh, that's October. Oh, look at that in this area, and we have. Oh, look at this. Is about 55k in around about here. I mean, yeah, it was about a year late. My model's a bit better than his model, right? My model had us coming in with 55k in it around about February 2021. Plan B's model had us coming in about 55k in it around about here. He was out by about 9 months or so. So I can't say he was completely wrong. He's out by about 9 months and about $40,000 or so, roughly. His, so he wasn't too far off. My model's a lot more accurate. It's a lot more accurate, my model. If anybody wants access to my model, I'll just publish it now, so that you've got access to it here. Better than Plan B's stupid AF model. There's the name of the descript thingy. This is better. There you go. Category is trend analysis, is technical indicators, and it is fundamental analysis. Very important. Let's see if there's any drop downs. Earnings, growth. Oh, I can't do it. I can just do that. Right. Publish idea. Cool. Excellent. So there we have it. Publish my idea. I'll share this idea with everybody in the chat who wants to be able to see it here. So there it is. There you go. Feel free to go along and check out the Better Than Plan B's model. Now, there's other reasons for this. Let me just see if I could see when these pictures, if they were to actually load up, then you would see how inaccurate this is. I mean, saying that it's going to hit 55k after the May 2020 halving seems now, in retrospect, that it's up at 55k in 2021. That was an accurate thing to say, but it wasn't, because he's talking about he was out by a significant percentage, and he's also out again now. I just wanted to go back to one of the old ones to find it. Is there any other price predictions he's got in here? I can't even be bothered. I can't actually be bothered anymore. I'll just make this as an episode. If anybody wants to see this sometime, I'll just make it as an episode where I do this off online, but off a stream, so that I can load things up properly. Show you how he's adjusted the thing over time. Not that I care about that even. It's just that it's just an absolute joke. Can we just bring up this one where he actually has the pictures on it then instead? Because it's maybe even the same article. I don't really know. Where do we have it? Here we have it. Okay, so where's his mod? What's his line? This is the stocks to flow models, the black line. So here we had the prices were meant to be, the prices were down at around about, well, I don't know. This is really crap graph, but you can see the prices were supposed to be up at around about 5,000 when they were down there at about 500, and then the prices eventually went up to 10,000 when they were supposed to be down there at about 3,000, and then the prices came down to around about where the stock to flow thing is, and then went up again. This is completely and absolutely useless. Also, by the way, he's just placed it. It's just, look, what he did to make this was what I did there, but mine's better, and I proved it already. So, and I've shared it in there for anybody who wants it. I'll just pin this up to the top so that everybody has the access to the best one. So hopefully there's 1,000 articles written about that, because deserves it. Well, oh, SafeMoon loaded up. Right, can take a look at it for a second. Right, okay, so I can drop a stream marker. Hi friends, let's take a look at SafeMoon together. I know a lot of you out there like SafeMoon. For me personally, I kind of wonder, because, they paid bots to come onto the channel and spam it, and I'm not a massive fan of that, but there's a little kind of, if you're going to talk about fundamental analysis, a crypto that's willing to spend money on spam bots to go around various YouTube channels to convince people reading the comments in there to buy the coin, I think that it's bizarrely enough that maybe that's a good thing fundamentally. I don't know. Anyway, we'll take a look at this in terms of the technicals just now. Be sure to hit the like button. Really do appreciate people who do that. If that's you, then that's me appreciating you. My name's Rocky Outcrop. It's about to fly on the screen. Whoosh! Rocky Outcrop, crypto technical analysis. Hitting the subscribe button and the alarm bell and coming back and watching again in the future would be good. We've done a bunch of coins today. This is a live stream, by the way. You can see. Join me for chat sometime. And me, nice and big. Well, what are we at the minute? This is versus what even coin did. I don't even know what the person wanted to look at, to be honest with you, versus Bitcoin. Let's just do SafeMoon versus the USDT. Can we? I don't even know how you use this chart, to be perfectly honest. It makes me want to cry how unusable this website is. From USDT. No, I don't want. I want the chart to change. Can you change the chart, please? Can you change the chart? Okay, looks like we're looking at it versus BSC chain again, right? Looks like that's where we are. Managed to avoid having the descending triangle get its full sort of move here in the past. Wait, this is the 60. Whoa. going to just not bother editing this video and publish it as it is anyway, but I'm not pleased with the way that I fell over all my words and everything there. There's probably going to be a bit, there's almost certainly going to be a pullback on this one at the minute because we're so far outside the Bollinger Bands. 4-hour time frame, whoa, we're kind of tracing them. So the volatility is kind of the order of the day then at this point, with upward side movement potential still for us. Very, very, very good. There was the descending triangle over there. Oh, we did get the full sort of move out from that as well, all the way down. So that played out in the end. That's nice to see. Good that we did that in the past. So now where are we? Well, parabolic towards the top side. Where do we want to stay above then? We can do that. We can come in with this, and the way that we'll do this is we'll take it from the ultimate low following on from our last sort of market we did this descending triangle, we got the move off of the back of it, we've come going up ever since, so we'll take it from there. Quick tip to people: if you're drawing on Fibonacci's, you can still use the access to change the scroll in your chart without having to drop it. It's handy to know. Oh wow, okay, so yeah, it might seem a bit crazy, but what we want to keep doing is dragging this up, matching up with the top. We've had this is the top so far. If we drop back down below 35, then I'm going to look for the prices to crash all the way down to 21 again. But we're all the way up here at 45, so that's almost like a sort of 20% more drop off to get us, a 20% drop off to get us down. Yeah, 20% to get us down towards the 236. Obviously it's 236, but yeah, so that's quite a distance away. Yeah, that's not very useful for us, is it? Really, in terms of how much pain you'd have to go through. Essentially, I wouldn't be buying the top right now. Overall, couple of reasons for that. There's just too much risk on here. However, if you are going to be doing that, then let's look down at an even lower time frame and see how things look in this red chunk. Essentially, we're moving up the way. You can see this has burnt off all the previous divergence that there would have been as well with this big move up the way. It's trending up. It's trending up. All you can really do is identify the trend. You can see here in the shorter term time frame, if we do take out that line, then we'll be taking out the middle line, the Bollinger Band, and it'd be easy enough to look down towards the 25 area, or indeed as far as 21 for the lower end of the Bollinger Band if that were to happen. It's an upward trend. Things are going up at the minute. It doesn't look crap. When I looked at this last time, I said this looks shit over here, and it did, and it dropped down the way. Here at the minute, it doesn't really, but it's massively extended. Obviously, the move to get into was all the way back down here. Profit taking is happening at some points, with some people being less greedy than others. It could drop down the way, and we could even come back down to retest their higher highs. I'd just be cautious on it. I can't give you much. Do your own research, like it says at the top there. Always do your own research. What's that all about? Anyway, I'm not massively, I don't know, what can I say about this thing? Like, it's very limited what I can say about it. It's in an uptrend, right? It's an uptrend, very, very strong uptrend with the potential to have pullbacks. Almost guaranteed that there will be pullbacks at some point. Let me just stick something else on this chart here as to see, like the RSI, for example. And it's wonderful that out of the box colors on this are just so visible, but I'll change it to orange just for a laugh. Yeah, so the divergence came with the impulse up, and we've had that. The actual movements in this smaller period of time frame, yeah, actually it's divergent. It's divergent. I expect volatility. I think that you just have to be careful, right? And if you're willing to accept being pushed around by the markets in the meantime, and you're looking between these two areas and you're accepting that, that's okay. But movements past this previous low over here at 35, I would not want to be in it or even consider shorting it at that point. And then up here, if we can take out, I mean, what do we want? Do we want to try and come up with a target towards the top side? Let's see, because we'll already have done like most of the targets that are achievable in the most simplistic sense. When you look at this, as you can see, yeah, already up past the 4 and everything in terms of Fibonacci. That's what you get with parabolic moves up the way. Just have to look out for this thing. It's great, fantastic, well done to it. Sorry. Right then, okay, cool. So drop another stream marker. Hi friends, let's take a look at BNB, right? So we're going to look at BNB USDT here on the show, checking it out on Binance itself. Thank you so much for joining me to watch this. By the way, if you do decide to hit like, then I'll decide at that moment that you're my best pal. Here's some intros for you. I like them. I like the music. I like my name. Check it out. Wow, fantastic. Crypto technical analysis. Brilliant. Wow, if you like that, then hit like. But if you just want to see, if you like the idea of me doing live streams, hit the subscribe button and the bell, come back, join me for one of them and all that stuff soon, all that. Right, cool. Right, yeah. So, yeah, BNB USDT. It was requested to take a look at this by somebody in the live chat, just trying to see who it was that asked for that. Not 100% sure who it was that asked for that. So yeah, great. Anyway, right, whatever. Let's take a look. Great movement up the way in terms of the weekly. Well, that's no surprise. That we all knew that anyway, I think, right? Great movement up in terms of the 3-day. That's no surprise. Think we knew that anyway. 2 days, same dealio. You get to the 24-hour time frame and you start to see some little problems emerge, but it's way less visible here on the logarithmic chart than if I were to pop it onto the linear chart. So just a little distinction I want to make for people to see. This is the linear chart, daily time frame. Quite obvious there's been a big pullback. Then I go logarithmic and not so much. So I want people to remember in terms of when you're looking at really strongly trending moves towards the top side, to be taking into account the percentage pullbacks that you're having, not necessarily simply the absolute dollar value that you're having here, because the highs were up at 639, the lows down at 427. Huge stuff, 33%, etc. Put it back onto logarithmic and then cast our minds back the way, and we can remember that over here there was a 45% decline in price. Remember over here there was a 36% decline in price, and that's not unusual. We can see now, especially since it's logarithmic, just how frequently we get these sorts of size moves. So this having happened at the minute, not so bad necessarily, still clearly in a strong upward trend. That's very good. What do we want to see happen? Well, we can learn a lesson or two by looking at this chunk here. You know, we saw the movement up the way, and then the prices dropped down, and it was a big drop. Then we came back up, and we didn't take out key areas. What key areas, for example, Rocky? Well, over here, if we draw in a sort of Fibonacci, we didn't manage to really, satisfactorily take out the 618 as an example over there. Now, we did move past the 236 very much nearly immediately, and then found it as support. And this is not fractal analysis, by the way. I'm not taking something from the past and saying this thing's going to exactly repeat itself, because that would be, well, that's I'll leave that job to all the morons to do. But if we're looking up here between the highs then and the lows, and we see that we are above the 236, we can see that there is a sort of certain rhyming to the way that history goes, and this is just talking about flows in markets and market structure, etc. So we're doing very well to be above the 480 area. In fact, any retraces that we see that come down towards 480 are totally acceptable. It's really when you see closes and opens, especially on the big time frames. Let's jump down to the 4-hour time frame so that at least we can sort of digest what I'm saying a bit easier. So when you see opens and closes again and again below that area, that you need to get worried. Let me just draw in again so you can see now that we're on the 4-hour time frame. There's the high, there's the low, came down, pushed back up nearly immediately, and we never really had a succession of openings and closes below this. We had one red candle that took us down below, then the green candle took us right back up to it, etc. And that's what we're seeing. So we need to, if you wanted to get bearish on it, you need to see movement down here, 4-hour time frames, opens and closes below 480 for you to start to sort of get into that mode, okay, to continue on. And what you'd be saying at that stage is, of course, you've got a high somewhere in here, you've got some sort of low, I guess, and maybe another higher high. It's a bit generous, but there you go. Then another lower low and another lower high, and then you'd be looking down and saying, will we come in for a lower low thereafter? Bringing up the oscillators so we can see that these lows overall, in the big scheme of thing, where there's really only this low, where I chuckled a second ago because that's not really much of a trend, but anyway, there's this low, would have that potential for a hidden bullish divergence. Wow, very, very tasty if we start to take out the structure of these fake sort of semi higher lower highs, right? And that would see us getting into a nice turnaround here. It would be nice if we could turn around and keep the strength of the trend. If we need to go through a period of chop, that's okay. What do I mean by that? What I mean is, for example, in the last big sort of up down that we saw the cross on the DMI take us into a period of chop over here, negative cross, positive cross, negative cross, positive cross, chop, 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 all in here, all that choppiness, and then eventually it resolved itself towards the top side. Now, we could see something similar like that happen again, you know, where you get into chop territory. I would prefer not to. I think we all would, really. Stochastics crossing over and going towards the downside, but then, you know, wanting, will we see a tick over the way? If we do, then that's good, and I think that would happen in around about movements past 530, I'll just say, is to be $550, right? So, you know, this means that when you're talking about something that's moved so parabolically, and that's the characterizes the trend you're in, you find yourself having to say things like, you know, I'm not even going to be happy about this until it's moved 10%. It's tough, that is, right? Oh, there goes the camera. That's obviously time for me to tune out. I've ran out of battery, so I'll just hide myself, and I can take advantage of the camera dying, I suppose, to make the charts bigger on the screen for everybody, and that's interesting, I guess. So yeah, so what am I looking for in this one? Well, we're above the 236. I want to see this continue on the way. How does this thing line up with regards to the Ichimoku cloud and where we've come from so far? And you can see then that the resistance of the cloud is right on there at that level. So you can see that it's that 550, while I was kind of like and struggling with like really saying it before and talking about the 10%. That indeed, you know, yet again, this is just a 4-hour time frame as well. That the 550, I mean, how many times do you need to have that underlined? Now, if we take out 550, can we go out and look for a move towards our previous highs again? Then absolutely, I think that they would get retested at that point, and that's of course in and of itself a good move, because you're talking 550 up towards 650-ish or whatever, so you're talking about a seriously decent percentage move. But here we are at the lower end of the cloud, and this is what kind of describes the situation. So the person who asked me to take a look at it was underwater on their trade, and that's understandable, you know, because things started to look pretty crap from 550 down the way when we got this negative cross, and things just sank on down into the cloud, tried to come back up, resisted by it, on down the way again, and on down all as low as 428. What am I looking at then with this one? Well, like I say, I mean, I've said it 7 or 8 times already, but I suppose I need to be clearer. If we can maintain prices above 480, I'm still looking up towards 640 as a target overall. But saying that bypasses me saying that crucially 550 is very, very important, and I expect to see in inverted commas, because I don't like saying prediction or expect, because nobody can predict the future, but I expect to see some sort of resistance or whatever in around about that zone. And then if we pull back again, where I want to see the prices not go any lower than is 531, where we have this next area. And why would that be the case? And let me just show you in a purely speculative way, but this is how things go. Is that you would have the prices coming up towards 550, pop this in here, so that would be where that would be at. Then your 236 would then come in at 532, and that's no surprise to me. I've done this for years and years and years and years, that's where that would be at. So that means that in terms of, like, if you want to sort of have a pre-constructed Elliott wave for you, then this would be it here, and that's what I want to see happen with BNB overall. Now, if it doesn't need to come back down again, fine, that's great. If it wants to fly on up the way, fine, that's great too. But really, it needs to actually sustain prices above that 530 area. If it comes back down again, then we could languish in around about these zones and even ultimately retest 480 again, which would suck, right? Suck balls, okay? We're at 500 at the minute, big inflection point for us. As we can see here, we've tried getting past it over the period of the last day, came up, found resistance at a lower high, but we don't have, you know, things to confirm the downward trend in terms of look, I'm not willing to call these highs. I'm not really willing to. I'm not willing to call these lows. That's bullshit. This is the high. This is the high. There's this one low. High, low, high. That's all we've got. Oh God, gonna have to clean this up a wee bit. That's all you got there. And that actually, then, if you accept that, then if you accept that this is a high and this is a low and this is a lower high, then I want to make it very, very clear then that this is higher than here, and that is not hidden bearish divergence as yet. Now, I'll happily eat my words on all of this in the future should that be required, but it looks to me as though this has got extreme volatility but functions more or less in the form of a bull flag right now, and that's what I'm waiting to see resolution on. Okie dokie. We could even see things happen in the meantime. If we see a lack of wicks higher, but bodies not closing up above our previous wicks, and then retracements back down the way, we could see this thing form like a sort of diamond or some crap like that in the meantime. Obviously, that's not super exciting. We don't want to see that. It's not super exciting. We don't want to see that. What are you talking about, Rocky? But you can see here at the 597 area that in terms of if we were to be looking down the way for a trend, and we had a target of 322 trending down the way, if that's what you're doing, the fact that we're above 500 is really, really, really important. Now, people would look at this and say it's halfway towards a grand, it's a round number, it's super important, it's super important for all those reasons. I actually don't really give too much of a shit about all of that, but I will say that we're above the 236 just here, and that we're above the 480 236, but we're above that 236 from the trend lows to the high in terms of if you were looking down the way. So we've invalidated that with this price movement just here, just now, and I'm wanting to see if this can push up the way. And therefore, when I look down towards the 1 hour time frame and I see that we've just managed to poke our heads above the cloud, and that we've not got a negative cross here, but we're coming in to give us the chance to actually get the positive cross above the cloud, it means everything's starting to line up perfectly for this to get another movement towards the top side. Starting to, close to, depends how you want to manage your risk. That'll do on that front, I think. Oh, if you hit thanks, or if you hit like, then I appreciate it. Okay. Yeah, Plan B calling for 288k now, though. Yeah, Plan B was calling for 288k now. It's all those numbers were completely fucked. They're wrong. His model says 288k by 2024, and I think somewhere around 191k by end of year. It doesn't matter if it happens or not. It's completely besides the point. It's I already showed it to everybody. I've pinned it there in the chat. If you want to see the Plan B model done without all of the bullshit and all of the noise and all the crap that he's done to try and make it so that people think it's actually meaningful, then you can read his one. If you want to see my version of it, then you can see it's actually historically worked out as being more accurate. My version, here it is here. I'll just show you my version for anybody that missed that section of the show. Here's my show, better than Plan B's stupid AF model. And you can see here it is here. It's really simple. It's really easy to follow along with. That's it there. It's going to give you a rough idea of the prices in the future. If you want to see the exclusive behind the scenes about how this was actually made, then it's during this live stream. So there you go. It's really like the fundamental secrets of how to come up with this are all displayed for everybody to see it. It's actually historically proven to be even more accurate than Plan B's model. So there you go. It's amazing. And if me saying that, you think that it sounds like I'm taking the piss out of a guy, let's just ask if Rory de Boer's still here. He can tell us if a Dutch person like Plan B himself should have enough of a thick skin to be able to cope with that sort of a ribbon or not. I'm sure he'll confirm with you that Dutch people would be able to handle that. No problem at all. I think that'd actually be a general expectation. The guy claims to be work as a portfolio asset manager in a Dutch bank anonymously. And he's a liar. If he works in a coffee shop and that in Amsterdam, that might be true. He's got a Dutch accent, so I do believe he's Dutch. But all this stuff is bullshit. Right, cool, nice one. So we've come to the end of the show. Excellent. So quick time for a reverse roll call. Anybody wants me to take a look at anything at this point now? Sorry, it's too late. If I did miss something that somebody wanted earlier on, then sorry about that as well. And I'll come back again as ever on Wednesday for another live stream. I'll be publishing lots of clips from this as well. Be great if we can see things going on. By the way, just want to point out to everybody, no resentment over here. I do all I do for free every time. It's absolutely free. But I got given a tip today from somebody who wanted to come in and advertise to people. That's right. So just so you know that the one super chat that was given today was from somebody who only wanted to advertise to the rest of you guys, and that the audience themselves haven't actually wanted to put their hands in their pockets for me. That's totally fine. That's totally fine to do all I do for free. Just want everybody to know that. The only donation that came in was as an advert today, just so that people know. And yeah, I'll be back on Wednesday doing this again. So be sure to fire in your requests. Now, obviously, the idea is that what we'll have is enough people coming along soon enough in the future that there's just too much demand, and then people will be happy to pay or something like that. I don't know, but I do have to say that it feels a little bit foolish to do 2 hours and 25 minutes of work for nothing. So on that basis, if you are watching right now, sharing it with your friends and helping grow the channel would be awesome. You know, it would be awesome. It's like in that, or of course I can just keep doing what I've been doing, you know, and I will just keep doing what I've been doing. But it would be awesome if you said, hey, look, there's this guy out here and he does this stuff and he doesn't have any expectation of money and he won't yap about it or any of that sort of stuff, and he's just trying to help people and he doesn't care, he understands that you're trying to help, blah blah. Yay, lol, defo, says Rory. Excellent. So there we have confirmation on the Dutch attitude. Yeah, I think that what I say sounds incredibly like harsh to there you go, Andrew Gibson. What a legend. Now that was me, that felt a bit beggy on my part, but I want everybody to know that I do this for free. I don't really care, and I really appreciate it. But it does. But I think to myself at the end of 2.5 hours, what the hell am I doing? You know, I'm a human being, right? What would you think after 2.5 hours? You think, what the hell are you doing is what you'd think, right? Anyway, cool. Okay, so I really appreciate it. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm going to make this a whole bunch of clips out of this sort of stuff. If you want to see me give, like, you know, you can find the coin you're looking for by flicking through the video and looking at the top left, where you'll see the ticker for the coins quite big, so it makes it easy enough to skip through the live and find what you're looking for. But I will be making clips out of all the bits that I've made here today anyway, and I'll be back again on Wednesday for more of the same. Reverse roll call time comes out here, and just going to make this a bit more fun for everybody. Andrew Gibson is a legend. There we go. So he gets that. Excellent. Yeah, man. Well, actually, what I'm really trying to say, Andrew, by the way, when I say that is, it's like I'm a professional and I'm doing this professionally, and it's such a weird feeling to be doing something for years and it be like charity and it not actually be called charity. You know, it's so weird to have to consider yourself to be professional and also to be operating, you know, just working all the time without any money being given to you. Is really weird, right? Anyway, so it's hard to reconcile that, which makes me talk weird sometimes. Andrew Gibson is a legend. I'll just run through the reverse roll call. Rory de Brouwer, thank you so much for tuning in. Good in tagging. That's it's a bit of a cheat there. So who else did we have? Tradespawn, thank you so much. Kenny, thank you. Or Kevin Fleming, thank you so much for tuning in as well. Social Media Mall, thanks so much for tuning in. Andreas MG, always a legend. Phil, thank you so much for tuning in as well. Andrew Gibson, he's a legend. Lauren Setscorn, thank you. Maybe one of the only women to watch the show. I really hope she subscribes, by the way. It'd be so good to have some female subscribers, just to balance it out a wee bit. Thank you so much for tuning in. Kenetostis, oh damn it, I missed you saying see a coin. That's something to take a look at next time. I'll add these to that list that I've got, right? I'll add it to the list here so that I can do it next time when everybody tunes in. See a coin. It's a missed suggestion, so I'll add that on next time. Oh, well, there's something else from the comments on YouTube I wanted to do as well. Phil, thanks for tuning in. Dude Man, thanks for tuning in. Navanethan, thanks for tuning in. Andrew Gibson, again, thanks for tuning in because he's a legend. Douglas, thanks for tuning in. Dude Man, thanks for tuning in. Swisher V Baby, you are always welcome. Nice to have had you here this evening. Mimte, or this afternoon. Jacko Kulpers, thanks for tuning in. By the way, Jacko Quipgers, I think Rory de Brouwer down below will probably confirm that you've got the poshest sounding name in this live stream, Jacko. So nice to have you here. Mimte, there you go, Mimte. Thanks for tuning in. Etienne, thank you for tuning in. Daniel Walter, thank you for tuning in. Zoner, thank you for tuning in. Mario Peria, thank you for tuning in. Peter Hewer, thank you for tuning in. Sunjo Kojak, that's my friend Scott, thanks for tuning in. Craig Chin Chin, thanks for tuning in as well. And yeah, I think I've got most people from there, but I'll finish off by saying thanks, Andrew Gibson, as well, for making the professional feel like he is a professional.